Hello everyone, my name is Shubham Saga and today we have to do 50 most important current affairs science and tech part 1. So we have done 3 modules earlier, the part 1s of 3 modules. What are those modules? Polity, environment and geography. Second module, third is economy and fourth is science and tech, right? And after that there will be IR part 1 and then we'll go to part 2 of polity and all. So yeah, let's start without wasting any time. 50 most important current affairs. My name is Shubham Sagar. You can connect with me on LinkedIn, and this is a Telegram channel where I share Hindu analysis PDFs. Every day, Monday to Saturday rather, 9 p.m. So you can have a look at that Hindu analysis PDF. I do Hindu analysis. I try to upload videos by 9 a.m. Sometimes I'm late, but preferably before 10 a.m. the video is there on the channel. So you can have a look at. This is fine. This is a summary and all, but for discipline is important, and if you watch Hindu analysis daily, that's actually a good thing to do to cover current affairs. So let's start with science and tech current affairs, and we are starting with Kolhapuri chappal. People are like, sir, why is this in science and tech, why it is not there in art and culture? The reason is, here we are talking about GI tag. Kolhapuri chappal, it has got GI tag, geographical indication tag. GI tag act is there. Darjeeling tea was the first entity which got GI tag. GI tag is unique to a particular region. So Kolhapuri chappal is unique to the region of Maharashtra where it is being made. So Bengal Rasagulla, Odisha's Rasagulla, they're unique to that particular region. GI tag. So you have these words: GI tag, copyright, patent, trademark. You should know these terms and what is the basic meaning of these terms. GI tag, specific to a particular region, geographical region. Then trademark, specific to companies, unique to companies. Parle G will have a unique trademark. Then you have copyright. Let's say A.R. Rahman, singers and all, and even the authors, they will have copyright over their product. Then patent. Let's say Novartis is making some drugs. Drugs means medicine here, not any other drug, not Urta Punjab. So there on those particular medicines and all those drugs, they will get patent. They're for a specific period. So Kolhapuri chappal manufacturers, they are very unhappy with Prada because Prada is copying their chappals without paying them anything. This is so wrong, right? So that is why they are unhappy. What is important here is Kolhapuri chappal. Which region? Maharashtra. They can give you. It is a part of Karnataka or Kerala or some other state rather. So you have to be very wary of that particular point. GI tag, Kolhapuri chappal, and they can say that Kolhapuri chappal has not yet got geographical indication tag. That would be wrong. They have been granted. Delegation of manufacturers, they met Maharashtra CM Devendra Fadnavis. This article appeared on 27th June 2025. So there will be some new development. You're going to keep a tab on it, but yes, right now the major concern here is what is GI tag, and what is the basic meaning of GI tag, how they're different from copyright, patent or trademark. These are the things which you have to keep in mind. Mahadik, Rajya Sabha MP, he's like, these Pradas, international brand, they're killing our domestic brand. This is so wrong. We'll kill them all and eat them alive. No, that statement was not stated by them. And again, you can see for selling a sandal similar to Kolhapuri chappal for 1 lakh, they're selling it for 1 lakh, guys. Oh my god. Okay, so next step, they will talk to these people and then they will, raise this issue nationally and internationally. Fine. The thing which is important is, let's solve some questions so that you can understand what are the things which you have to keep in mind and what are the things which you can forget about this particular article. Chepandis Cheputal Suledu Kadu. No. So GI means Kolhapuri chappals, they have been granted GI tag. That is correct. First is correct. So that means C option is gone. Always do option elimination, guys. That is a good practice, and you people are good boys and girls. They're traditionally made in the state of Tamil Nadu. That is wrong. Maharashtra. So second is wrong. If second is wrong, eliminate second. You got the answer. Something is going on in the background. 1 and 3 only. So the answer is B. Handcrafted leather footwear known for durability and cultural significance. Next MCQ. Which of the following best explains the term GI, geographical indication? What do you understand by GI? Pause me and then unpause me at the end. You can keep a tab on how many questions we solved today in these 50 most important current affairs for SNT and how many you got correct. You can post it in the comment section if you want. And if you feel like you have done good, even if you have done bad, honesty is the best policy. Sign used on products that have a specific geographical origin. See. Radhe, 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 Oh, guys, next article, which is actually 2 articles, combination of articles, 2 articles. I have clubbed them together. Appeared again, 2nd July. What was this? Just give me a second, guys. I want to see when this Prada appeared. Prada, Prada, 27th June. There was a song also. Prada Sajna. I don't know what that song is. So again, here there are terms, guys. INS Udayagiri, INS Tamal, how they're different, and then we'll also read about INS Himgiri. So whenever you're reading these Udayagiri, Tamal, and Himgiri, you should read them together. This is called parallel study. This is called smart study because you people are good boys and girls, right? So you should do parallel study and smart study. So what is the basic difference between Udayagiri and Tamal? See, these are warships. Both these Udayagiri and Tamal, they are warships. Warship means these ships, they're not normal ships from here, like there will be missiles and all, which can be launched from these ships. The difference is, INS Tamal, we are making it with the help of Russia. On the other hand, our Honorable PM Sir Modi Sir, whom we all love so much, he talks about Atmanirbhar Bharat Abhiyan. We have to indigenize these warships and all, and INS Udaygiri is a step in that regard. It has maximum indigenous component. So this is the major difference. Rest everything is fine. You can install missiles and all. INS Tamal is showing you the past, what used to happen earlier. We used to rely on Russia and all. INS Udaygiri and later on Himgiri also will read. They are representing the future, the present and the future. That we cannot be dependent on anyone. We have to be self-sufficient. I'm sorry. So INS is, whenever I say I'm so sorry. INS Udaygiri, the second ship of Project 17A. So this whole project is known as Project 17A. INS Udaygiri, indigenous. Still, frigate means warship. This is a fancy word for warship. Project 17, successor to Project 7, like Project 17A, successor to Sivalis class frigates, which was under Project 17. You don't need to do PhD. Just try to understand what is INS Udaygiri. They have given these things. INS Astra Dharini, etc. UPSC has already asked PYQ. This is your homework. Solve UPSC PYQ on Astradharini. What UPSC has asked on Astradharini, right? So shipbuilders, Mazadong Limited and MDCL or MDSL rather, Mazadong Dock Shipbuilders Limited, as well as GRSC, they are involved here. We'll do a comparative analysis, don't worry, just have a look at it. Project 17A. Capabilities, they can operate in blue water. You can read all these things. They are warships, indigenous warships. INS Udaygiri is named after previous ship decommissioned. It is belonging to Project 17A. These are some facts which you have to keep in mind. Then there will be some other words which we will look into. What are the other words? It includes, as this is a warship, so missiles can be launched from them, supersonic missile. So we talk about these terms. Sonic means at the speed of sound. Sonic means 1 Mach. Mach is the speed of sound. Subsonic, less than the speed of sound, less than 1 Mach. Supersonic, greater than 1 Mach. Hypersonic, greater than 5 Mach. So remember these things. If you have read from me earlier, you already know these stuff. Your revision is happening if you're reading it for the first time. If you have not read this sonic concept, you should know these because he asked these questions. Right. So you can see all these stuff. So this is about INS Udaygiri, INS Tamal. Let's talk about INS Tamal. INS Tamal is, we are making it with the help of Russia. Russia is the one which is actually doing maximum work. So commissioning will take place in Kaliningrad, Russia. INS Tamal. Again, it's a warship. Last foreign built major warship because we want to do we want to become Atmanirbhar Chepandis. Japanese చెప్పుతలు లేదు కాదు ఆత్మనిర్భర్ భారత్ అభియాన్ మేక్ ఇన్ ఇండియా ఇనిషియేటివ్. Modi sir is very particular about it, and it is part of Talwar class frigate, second of the following, and also Tushil class frigates. That was Shivalik class. Keep it in mind. And in comparative analysis, when you will see, you will. And then here, India and Russia, they're very happy that, oh my God, this is the 51st ship produced under Indo-Russian collaboration in the past 65 years. We're talking about INS Tamalia. You can see armed with dual role BrahMos. Now this is important. Dual, first of all, BrahMos, it's a supersonic missile, supersonic cruise missile. So there are so many terms in this particular. This is important. This is also important. So we have to understand these things. Dual role means it can target, you know, ship based. uh, let's say there is an enemy ship, it can target that also. It can target objects on land also. So that is BrahMos dual role. Supersonic we have just discussed, greater than the speed of sound. Cruise missile and ballistic missile. The ballistic missile is what, like Agni missile and all, they are ballistic missiles. So once you have fired them, they will follow a projectile path and they will you know uh, hit a predestined target. You cannot change their alter their path midway. That is ballistic. On the other hand, cruise missile, you have more control. You can change their path midway, more advanced compared to ballistic missile. Cool. So BrahMos is a cruise missile. Agni is a ballistic missile. Keep these points in mind. We'll talk about it later on. Right now, let's not get too confused because this article is having so many terms and all. So INS Tamal, INS Udaygiri. You can read all these things. What is important? Talwar class, INS Tamal, and this is from, we have taken it from Russia, and this is Shivali class, INS Udaygiri 17A. built in Russia, and Istamal built in India. And you can read all the other stuff, dual role BrahMos, blah, blah, blah. Let's solve some questions so that you can remember whatever you have studied. INS Tamal, recently commissioned into Indian Navy, is what? Is it Chepandis or is it Cheputalsuledu Kadu? I love these words, guys. When I was in Hyderabad, these are the 4 5 words I learned in Telugu. నేను నిన్ను ప్రేమిస్తున్నాను. INS Tamal is Russian built stealth guided missile frigate. Project 17A associated with Indian Navy warship aims to do what? It's associated with India. Construct stealth frigates with indigenous design and technology. Oh my god. So C is the answer. What does the term dual role BrahMos refers to? We have talked about BrahMos, we have talked about dual role. What is the basic meaning? Now here you can get confused. I will tell you where will be the confusion. You can get confused between A and D, guys. Capability to be launched. If you don't read all options, you can easily take A, but the answer is D. It is not about launching, it is about striking. It can strike both sea-based as well as land-based targets, and that's why it is known as the dual role BrahMos. Please remember, it's not about where it can be launched, it's about what it can strike. So this is a tricky question. This is a really good question. Which kind of a question? A really good question. Next article, which is similar. So that article appeared on 2nd July. This is on 26/8, and this is what we call smart study. When you read similar articles at the same time, so that you don't get confused. It's not like you're reading Tamil right now, Himgiri later, Udaygiri later. Don't do that. Parallel study. Just like you read Parliament and you read state legislature, same way you have to read these things, still fidget worship at the same time. So Udaygiri and Himgiri, they are all indigenous, unlike INS Tamil. So this is the same Udaygiri we are talking about, which we have discussed in the previous article. It was actually commissioned now. It has, it will be working now from Visakhapatnam. First ever simultaneous commission of two frontline warships. Both of these are indigenous only. The difference is, and both of them are belonging to Project 17A, Shivali class stealth frigates. But the difference here is who is making them. Udaygiri, and as we have discussed in the previous article, MDSL, Himgiri, GRSE Kolkata is involved here. And both are variant. In fact, in Udaygiri also, if you go back, GRSE was involved in some way or the other. If we just do a cross check, not that UPSC is going to ask you all these minor details, but yeah. So here also GRSE was involved, but maybe minor involvement was in there in the case of INS Udaygiri, and Mazadong was the major partner. In the case of Himgiri, GRSE is the major partner. So again, basically they're same 17A, they're indigenous, and who is making the major components, that's what's separating them. Equipped with advanced weaponry and all, and supporting Modi sir's aim of Atmanirbhar Bharat, 75% indigenization. Some components are there from foreign countries, but 3/4 of the components are indigenized in this Udaygiri and Himgiri. So hope you understood the basic difference between Udaygiri, Himgiri and Tamal. They are all warships, but there is difference in these warships and how they are working. So Udaygiri and Himgiri belong to Project 17, a Shivalik class. Remember this. The more questions you solve, the more or the better you will become in these kind of questions or MCQs. Fourth article, 7 July 2025. Google AI overview sparked antitrust firestorm in the EU. These kind of questions have been asked by UPSC earlier. They can ask you, uh, they can ask you in different ways. We'll see how in different ways they can ask you. First of all, we have to understand what is AI overviews, what this article is actually talking about, and what they're doing, the Chepandis here. So you see this, whenever you ask anything like who is a good boy, if you write here, so they will tell that, okay, Shubham, you are a good boy. Like that. So first of all, they will give you a summary, anything related to anything. Like if you write Tamal, Udaygiri, and Imgiri, first they will give you a summary from different articles which has published. So because of all these things, because AI overview is appearing at the top, people are not clicking at the, it's but obvious, right? I will not click on the uh, downside websites and all from where they're accessing this data, and that is the problem. The other companies, the people who are involved in making these articles and all, they're like, why should we make these articles? Google is publishing a summary and all, and it has reduced our click ratio, and this is so wrong. Google should not be doing this. So Google's AI overview are under scrutiny. Complaint has been filed. First of all, you have to understand, they can ask you what are AI overviews. They appear at the bottom. They don't appear at the bottom. They appear at the top of Google search result, and that is a problem. If they had appeared at the bottom, that would have been fine, right? People would have clicked on the website first, and then maybe they would have gone at the bottom. But if it is at the top, People are not going to the links from where AI overview is accessing data using their Gemini, chat again. So originally searched, as you can read all these things, we have just talked about the basic crux. They use a customized version of its Gemini or Gemini AI model, employs retrieval augmented generation RAG. Again, we don't have to do PhD here. Publishers, what is the concern here? Click-through rates have been decreased. Like I will tell you, there was a time when I used to do something stupid. Uh, Okay, let's forget. I will not tell you what stupidity I used to do. We all have done stupidity. So publishers, you can understand, it is reducing their click-through rates and all. And Google is using their content. They're not providing them enough money, and they're also reducing. Like it's a loss-loss scenario for them. No opt-out option. If I'm publishing my content, if there is a website, I should have an opt-out option that Google cannot use my content to publish these AI overviews until unless they have paid me enough. There's no opt-out option. Only option I have is I remove all my content from Google search, which is near equal to impossible. So who filed the complaint? You can see, and US, European Commission, UK, they're looking into these issues, and let's say how things pan out in the future. Google is saying that no, man, it makes people more curious, these AI overviews, and it gives more opportunities for content creators. They will, they become curious, they will click on your website, and then they will click on some other things. One thing will lead to another. So maybe this reduce in click-through rates and all is happening because of it's a seasonal trend. Don't worry about it. That is what is Google is saying or responding. Let's solve some questions so that you can understand how they can give you question based on these particular blah, blah, blah. Guys, please be serious when you're solving these questions. You can pause me, you can unpause me. So AI overviews appear below the this is wrong. They appear at the top. So first you eliminate first. You will get B as the answer. Oh my god, look at that question. B is the answer, guys. Nicki Minaj in our time, this Nicki Minaj is not for kids like you. For us people who are like I'm 19 right now, 19 years of age. So Nicki Minaj, I can listen to her song. She used to sing. Oh my God, look at that MCQ. She used to sing that song. Which of the following best describes the concern of independent publishers regarding AI overviews? Have a look at these options and try to solve this question and be a good boy. I love you. OPDR, na. So AI overview reduce user clicks on source website impacting revenue. C is the answer. Let's move on to the next article, fifth article. 50 most important science and tech article. We are at the fifth article. Whoa. No, not whoa. So budgetary allowance. What the government is doing is government is coming up with a new research and development and innovation scheme. As you can see here, 9th July 2025 RDI scheme. So currently what is happening, whatever minuscule research and development is happening in our country, 70% of the funding is coming from government sector. Government is providing this funding. Government wants to reverse that. 70% funding money should come from private sector. For that, government has come up with this particular scheme, an RDI scheme. Union government cabinet has approved a 1 lakh crore research development and innovation scheme. So who will operate this scheme? It will be operated through a ANRF, Anusandhan National Research Foundation. I always have this issue with how they're naming these things these days. Shanti Bill, Anushandhan. Anushandhan is a Hindi word. Not everyone in our country know Hindi. Hindi is not a national language. It's an official language along with English. Why can't they do things? IPC, Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita, BNSS, Sakshi Adhiniyam. Not good, man. It's like uh, deliberately raising this language issue. I don't know. So ANRF is a fund which will be managing and dispersing funds. So let's say I am, involved in some research and innovation. Let me show you one particular thing and then we'll talk about it. So this is called TRL 1 to 9. And what is the basic meaning? Technology readiness level 4. Like technology readiness level TRL, this concept was given by NASA. NASA came up with this concept. So what is the basic meaning here? So if you start like from here, TRL 1 to 4. So I am coming with a research that I want to make the best gupchup in the fuchka in the world. For people who know gupchup, pani puri we call it, and I know how to make it sweeter, tastier, saltier, spicier, and I have that research. So basic research I have done on my fuchka and gupchup and pani puri. Then we'll see whether this whole thing is feasible or not, or whether it's this fuchka gupchup is becoming too expensive. So if I find the feasibility, it's feasible enough, and then we'll go in the technology development demonstration, and we will test that particular gupchup on some some of mice or all, if some mice die or some of my relatives die, then it will not reach the operation stage. But if nobody dies and it was successful, then it will reach till TRL 9. So this money which will be coming from private sector, that will be given for people who are at TRL, above TRL 4, from where technology development and demonstration will happen. Because up until TRL 1 to 4, we are just, it's just like, I'm the best. I'm just telling stuff. I don't know whether it has any feasibility or something like that or not. So up until TRL 4 or above, they are eligible. So TRL 1, 2, 3, they are not eligible. We'll talk about it. First of all, let's go one by one. Let's not jump through articles. So A and RF will manage and disperse funds. So if you come with some research, they will give you money, and most of these money will be coming from private sector. A and RF, you can see this created under Science Ministry. Single window mechanism for funding research in universities and academic institutions. The basic rationale of the scheme is government want to reverse this. Currently, government is investing. Let's see this: 70% of R&D funding is coming from government, and they want to do the opposite. 70% of funding should come from private sources after this particular scheme, and ANRF will receive those fundings. What is the rationale? Why will private sources will give this money? Again, profit. You know, if research comes through, they will get a portion of the profit and all. But the problem here is projects which are at TRL 4 or above, they are only eligible. So it may disincentivize people who are at the basic level. Let's say I want to make the best pani puri in the world and all. So I'm like, oh my god, I have to prove it. And once they feel like yes, it can be implemented, only then they will give the money. So why should I spend my time on pani puri? Let me do my own thing. So TRL 4 refers to mid-stage development. So you are excluding early stage innovation. Even give some money to me, people like me who are in the TRL 1 to 3 stage, where we are making pani puri and all. We're trying hard, man. Don't just like it. It's like once you become a little bit successful, then people will invest in you. What is this, man? Invest in me at the earliest. So that is one issue. They will give you money from TRL 4 or ever. And plus, you do this research, you want to do this research and innovation, but you don't have a manufacturing sector. Generally, what happens in most countries of the world, you have primary, secondary, and tertiary sector. Primary agriculture, mining, secondary is manufacturing, and tertiary is services. So the development is something like this. Countries move from primary to secondary and then to tertiary. In India, we have bypassed secondary or manufacturing sector, jump directly from primary to tertiary. So we don't have a proper manufacturing sector which can contribute to this research and development. Without developing your manufacturing sector, these kind of schemes is just on paper. So you have to address this whole how you will take care of or tap this underdeveloped manufacturing sector. While budget allocations are fine, all these things are fine, 70% of funding coming from private sources, but think about these issues: TRL 1 to 3, why they're not getting money, manufacturing sector, who will take care of that? That's underdeveloped. Maximum innovation and research happens in this manufacturing sector. Let's focus. Cheapendies. Let's do cheapendies, guys. Cheapendies. Consider the following statement regarding RDI scheme. Enhanced private sector scheme provides use option elimination. We know second is wrong. Does not provide grant to TRL 1 to 3. So if you eliminate second, you're left with D1 and 3 only. I love you. Oh, Priya. There is a song of Allu Arjun, guys. Arya 2. Which of the following is a major concern associated with RDI scheme as highlighted in expert critiques? See, this scheme is not heavily dependent on government funding. Eliminate third, you will get the answer A1 and 2 only. Whenever you see these questions, pause me, try to solve this, and then unpause me. TRL, the term was given by whom? Shubham Sagar, Shubh, or World Economic Forum, NASA, WIPO, ESA. The answer is NASA. Guys, so sixth article of the day we will talk about. This published in the Hindu on 14th July 2025. 3i Atlas. Oh my god, there is so much talk related to this 3i Atlas, guys. This is so, some people say that these are people from other star system and who are trying to contact us. This is not of our solar system. This 3i Atlas, we'll talk about this. This is an interstellar object. What is the basic meaning of interstellar object? So if you see the naming of 3i Atlas, why it is named like 3i Atlas, this is the third interstellar object which we have detected. Third, in interstellar means this is not from our solar system, it has come from other star system. So, and third, it was seen by Atlas satellite, or satellite I'm saying. So Atlas in Chile, it is there in Chile. this Atlas telescope, and they have detected it. So hope you understood why it is named as such. They can give you that James Webb telescope has detected it. No, Atlas telescope has detected it. Third interstellar object which we have seen. First was we saw it in 2017. Second, 2019. Interstellar means they're not a part of our solar system. They have come from some other constellation, and that constellation is Sagittarius. So interstellar, highly elliptical. So they have come from outside. Is this an alien thing? Many people are like, oh my god, alien, alien, alien. This is a comet. Generally, comet comes from Kuiper belt, which is around Uranus, and but this comet has come from outside. Comets. Now you have to understand different words. Comet, asteroids, meteor, meteoroids, and all. So comet is icy particles, icy gaseous particles. So sometimes they have a tail. Why? Because these icy particles they get sublimated due to the impact or the impact of the sun. So sublimation happens. They have a tail, comet. On the other hand, asteroids are rocky particles. The fragments of comet and asteroids they make something which is known as meteor. So there are terms which we have to keep in mind, and then we'll talk about the other things. So comet, asteroid, meteoroid, meteor, meteoroid. Please pay attention to this. UPSC has already asked multiple PYQs on these terms. You have to know them because you people are good boys and girls, not only very good. So again, comet, outer solar system, mainly Kuiper belt around Uranus, but I'm saying around Uranus, around Neptune. But this particular comet, 3I Atlas, has come from outside solar system. So made up of ice, maybe it's an alien ship, we don't know. People are deducing certain stuff about it. Ice, dust, and rock glows, forms a tail because of the sublimation of the icy particles. Sublimation is a process when things directly convert from solid to gas, guys. So yeah. Asteroids, rocky particles, rocky no tail, generally between the asteroid belt is Mars and Jupiter, between Mars and Jupiter. Meteoroid, meteor, and meteorite, these are fragments of comet and asteroids. Where they are, based on that, they will be named. If they are there in space, they are meteoroid. If they enter into Earth atmosphere, they are meteor. If Earth atmosphere friction, they will burn. And if some of the particles come to Earth, they are meteorite with a T. So remember these differences, they are very important. How important? Not impotent, important. Guys, let's focus here. So we have seen some terms. So yeah, Atlas comet, interstellar, came from outside our solar system. Due to highly elliptical orbitability, NASA confirmed it poses no threat to Earth, and it will approach sun, it will exit solar system after passing sun and won't return. But what is 3I Atlas? I'm so, I'm so curious, I think, like many of you, about this whole, whether we are alone, not alone in this whole universe. This is believed to be oldest comet ever observed, 3 billion years older than the solar system, and that's why people are fascinated by 3I Atlas. And they're like, I love you, na upiriyadi poina, means, again, there's no, now this provides us a rare chance to study primordial material. Now, interstellar was one word which we have discussed, outside our solar system. Primordial material means materials which were formed very early and they have not changed much during the formation of the universe or the solar system, or even before that. They have formed, like during the formation of the universe, they were formed very early materials which have formed and they have not changed much. That is primordial material. And 3I Atlas is one such example of primordial material according to scientists. So people are very enthusiastic about it. Let's see, our enthusiasm turns into fear or what if we know something more. I'm very excited about 3I Atlas. You can do research about it, whether it's an alien ship or what. It's showing very peculiar behavior, which we generally don't see from these kind of comets and all. So yeah, very fascinating. Let's see how things develop. So, but again, leaving aside the fascination part, comet, asteroid, meteoroid, meteor, meteorite. Have a look at these terms. Means revise them, and let's solve this particular question, guys. NCQ, Chepangis. Guys, be serious, okay? I will kill you all and eat you alive if you're not serious. You people. So, 3I Atlas, third confirmed interstellar object, that is correct. So, first is correct. First detected, that is wrong. It's named Atlas. Atlas telescope detected it in Chile. It's not Chile, it's Chile. So, second is wrong. So, we are left with only A, one only. Expected, no, not indefinitely. It will come close to sun and then it will go. It will never come back. Oh my god. It will never come back. It sounds so sad, right? Please come back. What does the term primordial refer to in the context of astronomy? Material formed by fusion of modern star, any material you can see. Matter unchanged since the early formation of universal star system, that is primordial material. What is the difference between asteroids and comets? This is a tricky question, PYQ this is. So please don't do kiki, laugh, focus, be serious, and try to solve this question. Ah. So comets show a perceptible glowing tail. That is correct. So if third is correct, one is gone. Asteroids are small rocky planetoids similar to planets. Comets are formed of frozen gases. Yeah, that is correct. So first is correct. C is gone. Now you're left with B. Now you have to check second one. Asteroids are found mostly between the orbits of Jupiter, Mars. Comets are found mostly, no, not Venus and Mercury. Kuiper belt around Neptune, and some comets are coming even out interstellar and all. So second is wrong. If second is wrong, your answer is B, 1 and 3 only. Oh my God, good question, guys. It's a really good question. It's not only good question. It's a really good question. Really with a L, not R. Wow, guys. Next article, seventh article of the day, 16th July 2025. Confined field trials of GM Mage. So again, there will be terms, there will be tricky terms which we have to keep in mind because we are goody boys and girls. So GM Mage field trials. See, only one particular GM crop is commercially cultivated in India. That is BT cotton. Remember, rest every some are in trial stage, some are they're not commercially cultivated. Only BT cotton because people have fear that there are health repercussions of these genetically modified crops and whatnot. So we are very fearful about it, and that's why field trials of GMH has begun. Field trials, not commercial cultivation. So who gives clearances for these field trials of commercial cultivation? GEAC, Genetic Engineering Appraisal Committee, under MOEFCC, established under Environmental Protection Act 1986. Remember these things, they are really important. Not only important, very important. So field trials of two types of GMH, and this is a Kharif crop. So again, guys, we have discussed this mnemonic for Kharif crops and Rabi crops, I think 80,000 billion times in my Hindu analysis, if not more. So Kharif crops and Rabi crops. Kharif crop, Kobama, ki Tujori. Cotton, Bajra, Maize, Tur, Jwar, Rice. Rabi crops, the mnemonic is Vibagram. Vibagram. Wheat, barley, gram, Repsid, and mustard. Remember these? It will help you in solving a lot of UPSC PYQs. So proposal was made, this and that, but many people are not very happy. Coalition for GM Free India, they are saying that no, Punjab government, don't do this. We don't like this. And this is so wrong. But again, this is just a field trial. PU Vice Chancellor is saying it is research, guys, not a recommendation for commercial cultivation. Up until now, BT cotton is the only GM crop which is going for commercial cultivation. Rest everything is at different stages of trial. Let's solve some questions now so that you can remember whatever we have studied. It's not a big article, but there are terms which you have to know, which you have to keep in mind so that you people become more good boys and girls. Only GM crop currently approved for commercial cultivation, that is BT cotton. PYQ UPSC 2015. Genetic Engineering Appraisal Committee is constituted under which of these acts? Tell me now. I love you. Oh, Priya, the answer is Environmental Protection Act 1986. Wow. PYQ UPSC 13. Consider the following crops. Which of these are Kharif crops? Kharif. So try to solve this question and be a good boy. Cotton, groundnut, rice, and wheat. Chepandis. So Rabi crop. Wheat is a Rabi crop. So eliminate 4. You're left with B and C. Now 1. Cotton. Kobama ki tujuri. Cotton is. So the answer is C. Like, share, subscribe, guys. Spread the word. If I'm, adding to your knowledge base, you can donate. If you want this particular PDF, you can send me a WhatsApp message at the same number. Cool. Now, eighth article of the day. India can reframe the artificial intelligence debate written by Syed Akbaruddin sir, former diplomat. Whenever he writes any article, these articles are actually very good. So here he has talked about a given hint about red teaming and all, artificial intelligence. It has changed a lot of stuff about how we look at world, how we look at data. We are currently going through fourth industrial revolution, right? So we will talk about all the terms and all. First of all, focus on these things. Fourth industrial revolution. First industrial revolution, cotton, steam engine. Second industrial revolution, mass production, you can see here. So this is around 1760, first industrial revolution. Then second industrial revolution around 1840 to 60, 70, whatever. Then third industrial revolution, 1990s, internet and all these stuff. And now currently we are in the age of fourth industrial revolution where we are talking about ubiquitous computing, big data, artificial intelligence. Ubiquitous computing means data is here, there, everywhere. We are all connected. So fourth industrial revolution. In that regard, AI has changed everything, chat, GPT and all. it has creating a lot of impact. So we have to see how we are using AI and all. So for that, we have AI Impact Summit. 2025 summit happened in Paris. 2026 summit will happen in India. In that regard, and 2025 summit was very tumultuous. Tumultuous means US, UK, they were fighting in their own regard. So India is a neutral power, mm, mm, you know, to a greater extent. So maybe it will be not that contentious, this particular AI summit in 2026. They can give you AI Impact Summit in 2026 is supposed to be held in France, this and that. So India. Then they're talking about certain stuff. Red teaming. Red teaming is what? So generally what happens? Well, like I was in Samsung. I used to work as a software engineer at Samsung. So there you we used to means tech test. So let's say there is a hotel TV. I was in hotel TV domain. I don't know whether that thing is still there or not. Hotel TV domain means what? So there are five-star hotels all across the world. There Samsung installs big TVs. So we used to check them, And so this is red teaming. Red teaming means you will see in which scenarios things can crack, and you will give all those kind of test cases to see whether it cracks or not. So same thing has to be done in AI also. I will tell you, like in Chat GPT, if you ask information related to society and all, they will not tell you stuff. I don't know why. Even when I have to research for Hindu analysis articles and all, they will not tell me stuff. Although my intention is very pure. So these things have happened after red teaming. They know what to tell, what not to tell, and this is needed in this current age. Otherwise, people can use ChatGPT to make bombs and all. So hope you can understand. So AI Impact Summit in that regard matters a lot. There are suggestions. Each country should submit means commit to energy use reduction. So reduction. What the meaning of this energy use reduction is that AI has come. More and more data is being processed. That leads to establishment of data centers where there's that means keeping these data centers, they suck a lot of energy. So you have to see how you can make them more energy efficient. Free AI courses. So all these things have to be there. Global South, they need some money. We always need money. Global South is mainly countries of the southern hemisphere, Asia, Africa, and Southern America, which are poor countries and all. We need money for climate and all. We also need money for AI. Forget about it. Shared safety standards, and that's why we're talking about red teaming and all. How to do red teaming in a better manner. Middle class ground code of conduct and all. Prevent again. These things are fine. More important from means perspective, but from P perspective, industrial revolution. But from P perspective, like red teaming, these terms you have to keep in mind. Let's solve some questions so that you can understand what exactly is more important from P perspective. Oh my god. So. Guys, which of the following technology is not typically associated with fourth IR? The answer is steam engine. C. Next question. You see these digital initiative, Aadhaar, UPI, MyGov. So you will be like, sir, what this came out of the blue? Yes, some questions will be out of the blue in exam also. How many of them are correctly matched? You Aadhaar, yes, digital identity system, first correct. UPI, real-time payment infrastructure, correct. So now you're left with A and D. Just check the third. MyGov is a civic engagement platform where you can give feedback related to how government is performing in different areas. So third is also correct. The answer is D. 1, 2, and 3. Devise these digital initiatives, guys. UPI is anyway in news. Modi sir goes here, there, everywhere. That country adopts UPI. It's actually good. What is red teaming? We have just discussed. Red teaming is not only confined to we have already discussed this process to test AI systems for vulnerabilities. It happens in other arenas also, and AI is also no exception to red teaming. We try to break it so that we can make it better. If we can break it, so can hackers, right? So rather than it's better we break it and then we make it rather than a hacker doing it. So first, second, third, and fourth industrial revolution features match it. First IR B. So if one is B, you're left with A and C. Second IR, electricity and mass production. So two is C. So you got the answer. Third IR, internet. Fourth IR, the current one. So the answer is A. A for apple. Ninth article of the day. Uh, these articles took a toll on you guys. Plus, I'm getting old. So let's take a pause, like Atal Bihari Vajpayee sir used to take when he used to give speeches. So Navik. So it's earlier you also call it as IR and SS, Indian Regional Navigation Satellite System. What is the meaning here? See, we all use GPS, right? Global Positioning System, which is of USA. It's a global positioning system, navigational system. It tells you where to go, what to do, and blah blah blah. But during the time of Kargil war, US did not allow us to use their GPS because they were close to Pakistan. They're still very close to Pakistan. So we are like, no, no, we cannot be dependent on anybody else. So we are coming up with our own navigation system, which is NAVIC, IRNSS, Indian Regional Navigation Satellite System. But unlike GPS, which is global in nature, this is regional in nature. We will not cover the whole Earth. We are covering Indian subcontinent, Indian region, and 1500 kilometer around Indian region. We'll be providing IRNSS. Navik will provide two types of services: standard positioning services and restricted services. For civilian people, SPS, and restricted services for military people. And we earlier, initially, when IRNSS was launched, Navik, so we had 7 satellites. Now it has increased. And for to take care of the navigation and the accuracy, you have something known as atomic clocks there, which are made of rubidium, but they are malfunctioning, and this article is about that. ISRO plans to launch at least 3 satellites before end 2026 to replenish. So there are many satellites in Navik IRNSS which is not working now. So you want to replace them. You want to have better atomic clocks, because these are the clocks which ensure timings are correct, which ensures when you talk about navigation with them, they tell you the correct thing. For that, timing accuracy matters. Atomic clocks, they can ask you, it is made of tungsten and or rubidium. It is made up of. So you can see all the other stuff. We have talked about the basic things which we need to know. And this one thing, military services, uh, standard positioning services for civilians, and restricted services for military. So accuracy level is obviously higher for military services. It can also help us when we're fighting with Pakistan and all, because it's not only covering India, but 1500 kilometer around India. So it's India's regional navigation satellite system, similar, not exactly same. We have discussed GPS is global, Navik is similar. They can ask you GLONASS, BIDO, Galileo, and they can ask you match the following. Which navigation satellite belongs to which particular country? So remember it. So yeah, you can read other stuff in your free time. I'm not reading the slides. I'm not there for that. I'm here to tell you stuff, the basic things which are important. Let's solve some questions. Navik, and this is also your homework, solve that PYQ now. That PYQ has lost meaning now because it is talking from that time perspective. And when there were 7 satellites, now we have around 9 satellites and all. But it's still solve this question. What is the answer of this particular question? Chepandi, Cheputal Suledu, Kadu, I love you. So it will provide positioning services up to 1500 kilometers beyond Indian borders, not only Indian territory. So first is wrong. If you eliminate first, you'll get the answer C2 and 3 only. Two-level services, standard positioning for civilian, restricted services for military. Navigation capability and accuracy is better for military, obviously, than for civilians. It's not like civilian very bad, but yes, better for military. Which of the following best describes the role of atomic clocks in navigation satellites like Navik? What is the purpose of atomic clocks, guys? Chepandis. It's not very different from other clocks. So what is the basic purpose of clocks? Time, right? To ensure accurate timing signals required for location determination. B is the answer. Next, 10th article of the day. Technique to make CAR T cells in vivo could transfer cancer care. Again, these are very tricky articles, technically tricky articles. So let's try to simplify it as much as we can. So T cells, first of all, what is the meaning of T cells? So T cells are white blood cells, WBC, which fight against infections and all. So they mature in thymus region of our body. So that's why they're called T cell, WBCs. So they are also used to fight cancers. So basically the current scenario, how they fight cancer is immune T cells, they are extracted from your body, right? And then genetic engineering happens outside your body, and there is certain things which are given to them, which is known as CAR, chimeric antigen receptors, antigen antibody and all. So they're reinfused, and then this whole T cell is reinfused in your body to fight cancer. So hope you can understand what is happening. Our T cell is taken out of our body and re-engineered with scar and then put inside our body to fight cancer. What happens if, and because this whole thing is taken out, re-engineered, this whole process is expensive. Now scientists have come up with something known as in vivo CAR T cell. In vivo CAR T cell means using nanotechnology explicitly mentioned in your UPSC GS means paper 3 syllabus, guys. Nanotechnology, 1 nanometer, 10 to the power minus 9 meter. So using nanoparticles, we will do this CAR T cell in vivo. In vivo means inside the body only. We don't need to take out T cell. Inside your body, T cell will be re-engineered. Scar will be given to them. using these nanoparticles. So it will save us money, it will be much more cost efficient. So in vivo CAR T cell therapy is in use, delivers, again, you don't have to do PhD, so they will deliver these receptors directly into T cell using nanoparticles, lipid nanoparticles. Again, just remember nanoparticles, no cell extraction. We will not be taking out T cell from outside your body. So again, this will save money, this will be a revolutionary step. So let's see how things pan out. So preclinical result, tumors regressed in mice, monkeys, they are also showing, you know, good results. So no chemotherapy. You can see here, this is cheap, this is more efficient, and hopefully for human also in pre-trials it will be working. Paradigm shift it will be in the case of CAR T cell therapy, cancer treatment, and we so want that to happen. Cancer is still such a mysterious disease, guys. Even if you don't smoke, you will have, I don't know. I don't anything you can catch, man. Different types of cancers you have. So it's scary. Cancer is a very scary disease. So in that regard, CAR T cell and all these technologies, they are actually helpful. The main advantage of using mRNA and lipid nanoparticles for CAR T cell therapy is what? What will happen when these nanoparticles will be used? Chipandis చెప్పుతలుసు కాదు. Will that happen? Chipandis చెప్పుతలుసు కాదు. It will be in vivo engineering without lab-based cell extraction. C is the answer. Let's talk about 11th article of the day, 27 June 2025, vaccinating India's zero dose children. Now, this term is important. What is zero dose children? Who has not got even the first vaccine of DTP? Remember this: diphtheria, tetanus, and pertussis. Pertussis is also known as whooping cough. So they can directly ask you who are zero dose children because they are in news. And India is the second largest country which has maximum number of zero dose children. First is Nigeria. The countries which have maximum number of zero dose children, maximum of them are war ravaged and all. But India is not that. So in that regard, we should not be at the second position. So vaccine coverage has increased, but zero dose children, is an indicator to evaluate vaccine coverage in inequity. And remember, zero dose, those who did not receive first DTP, diphtheria, tetanus, pertussis, or whooping cough. They can change. They can give you some other disease names. So keep it in mind. India has 1.44 million zero dose children. 1 million is 10 lakhs. So you do the calculation. Among 8 countries that account for over 50% of global total, second highest globally. The first is Nigeria. Nigeria is the top one. But we can see Nigeria is, it's conflict affected, Boko Haram and all, they are there. But and India is neither we are conflict affected nor we are lacking in vaccination resource. So which should not happen, right? But yes, we have a large population, we have a large number of births. So yes, in that regard, it becomes a challenge. Proportion of zero dose children, 6.2% of newborns were zero dose children. Historical progress stagnated during COVID time, and then so you see the numbers here. Whatever number was there in 2019, the same numbers, approximate numbers, are there in 2023. WHO has set up some targets, how much they want to reduce. These are the numbers where you can see maximum number of zero dose children. Remember, guys, the basic definition of zero dose children. Rest everything is fine. So WHO agenda is to halve zero dose children relative to 2019. And what has happened with India by 2030? India has reached in 2023. India was at the 2019 level, somewhat more than that. So it should reduce rather than remaining stagnant or increasing, right? So India has only returned to 2019 level. So we have to aim to halve zero dose children. Whatever zero dose children was there in 2019, our aim should be to reach 0.7 million by 2030. We're still a long way ahead. But again, Modi sir is here. Modi hai to mumkin hai. So let's see how things pan out. So let's solve some question. MCQ. Zero dose children are those who have done Chepandis. Or who are zero dose children? I love you. Na upiriati poina. Not BCG, DPT. So first is wrong. You eliminate first. You're left with B and C. India has highest. No, not highest. Second highest. Highest Nigeria. So third is wrong. You're left with B2 only. What is the goal of WHO's immunization agenda 2030 with respect to zero dose children? Pause me, unpause me, pause me, unpause me. Half the number of zero dose children related to 2019 levels. Which of the following vaccines are covered under DTP vaccine? Remember these are tricky things. If you have read it, you will be able to solve it in exam. That is the problem with science and tech. You know it or you don't. You cannot guess. Maybe in this question you can guess a bit, but not in all of the questions. Diphtheria, tetanus, and pertussis, not polio. So the answer is A. You can be confused with P. So P is pertussis, whooping cough. 12th article, 18th July, Akash Prime successfully tested in Ladakh by army. So Akash missile, it's a defensive missile, guys. Like so many testing happened. Prithvi 2, Agni 1. You have to understand the difference between them. So these Agni 1 and Prithvi 2, they're offensive missile. Will be targeting short range ballistic missiles, unlike BrahMos, which is a cruise missile. So they'll be targeting, they'll be hitting enemy targets. On the other hand, when you talk about Akash Prime, Akash is a defensive system. That means enemies have targeted, they have sent their rockets and missiles. Akash will destroy them. So it is a medium range surface to air missile system, defensive system. Unlike your Agni and Prithvi, especially Agni has long range. It's not exactly short. There are different variants of Agni, but yes, they are offensive compared to Akash Prime. So these are something which you have to keep in mind. Medium range, surface to air. We'll be launching it from land and we'll be targeting the aerial targets, whatever is launched by our enemies, China and Pakistan. We will kill them all and eat them alive. No, we won't do that. We're good boys. So Akash missile system is what? Long range ballistic missile, cruise missile, medium range surface to air missile, intercontinental ballistic missile. These are factual questions, guys. Medium range surface to air missile. Revise this. Revise and let's solve this MCQ first. I love you na upiriati na. So Agni series not air to surface cruise missile. It's a ballistic missile. So if R is false, the answer is C. A is true, but R is false. Next, 13th, Nistar first indigenous diving support vessel. We have talked about INS, Tamal, Udaygiri, Himgiri. Now this is INS Nistar. So maybe you can club them. You can, whenever you're reading Udaygiri, Himgiri and Tamal, read Nistar at the same time, although they are different. It's not exactly same. It's a diving support vessel. What is a diving support vessel? So you have submarines and all. It's not like Nistar will be going and rescuing the submarines. So this is like a mothership. Please understand this. INS Nistar is a mothership. From this mothership, small entities will go down and it will rescue submarines. So that's why it's a diving support vessel. So diving support vessel will launch something known as, I will show you. You have to understand these terms, DSRVs. So this INS Nistar, it's a mothership. It will be launching something known as deep submerged rescue vessels. They can give you INS Nistar will go down and it will rescue submarine. They will not themselves do that. They are just an entity. Let's say there is a ship here. So this ship will carry a lot of DSRVs, which will go down and which will rescue submarines. So hope you're understanding what is INS Nisar. It's a diving support vessel which contains a lot of DSRV, deep submergence rescue vessels, which will be going inside and which will be rescuing submarines and all. Diving support vessel, INS Nistar. They can directly ask you. So INS Tamal, Udaygiri, Himgiri, INS Nistar, keep it in mind. INS Nistar reinforces, you can read all these things. And hope you also understood the difference between DSRVs and DSVs. They are not exactly same. DSV, it's not exactly superset, it's just a mothership. It contains a lot of DSRVs which will be sent down. DSV directly will not go down and rescue submarines. So let's solve MCQ. Which of the following statement best describes the role of INS Nistar? Nistu, nistu, nistu. So it is deep sea diving support vessel capable of launching rescue missions for submarines in distress. C is the answer, guys. Like, share, and subscribe, guys. This is the first part. We did 13 articles. Next part, we'll do 12, 13, 12. So 4 parts will be there of each of these modules. You are your own competition. You're not competing with anybody else. Always keep that in mind. If I'm adding to your knowledge base, you can always donate. And that's it for me. Take care, be blessed. I will see you in the subsequent parts. If you need this particular PDF, you can send me a WhatsApp message at the same number. Very good. Take care, be blessed. Tata, bye bye.
Hello everyone, Chepandis. Cheputal లేదు కాదు guys. For people who don't understand the meaning of this thing, it's totally fine. You don't need to. It's just jibber jabber. So whatever is going to be whatever we are going to discuss now, oh my god, that is not jibber jabber, guys. That is actually important. So let's not waste any time. Let's go to 50 most important current affairs science and tech part 2. We have done part 1. In part 1, you can, again, these are standalone lectures, so it's totally fine if you have not seen part 1. You can see them separately, you can see them like it's totally fine. These are standalone articles, like videos rather. My name is Shubham Saga. You can connect with me on LinkedIn. This is my Telegram channel. You can join this Telegram channel as well. So yes sir, yes sir, yes sir, yes sir. What happened? Okay, let's start. Part 1, we have done 13 important articles of science and tech from 50 most. Like we have to cover 50. So let's start from the 14th. And it doesn't mean that the 13 which we have covered, they're the most important articles. All 50 are equally important. Mosquitoes suck, but should we simply get rid of them? So Wolbachia method. UPSC asked a PYQ on Wolbachia method. This particular article is again covering it. Basically, this article is saying that who are good boys? Malarias are, like mosquitoes are. No. So see, not everyone is bad. Like in among people also we talk about this religion is bad, that religion is bad. No, religion is not bad. People are bad. I can give you 100 people in each different religion who are equally very bad. So similarly, not all mosquitoes are bad. Female anopheles, or female variants are generally bad. They are mischievous. They give you different, diseases and all. So you should not get rid of them because they also play a role as pollinators, transfer of pollen grains from anther to stigma. They are also fish food. So you cannot wipe them all. You should not wipe them all. And that's why this article has been written. What you should do, you should target them selectively. What are different methods? So you can see all these things. Let's talk about the basic rationale, the core idea of this Chepandi's article. Chepandi's means awesome article. Sterile insect technique. So here what you do, you sterile males. Like if you do sterilization of males, then they will have sex with female mosquitoes, but they will not produce offspring. Shiv, shiv. So in that scenario, the mosquitoes population will decrease. That is called sterile or SIT, sterile insect technique. Remember it. CRISPR based technique. CRISPR, they have UPSC has already asked a PYQ on it. What is it? It's a gene editing technology. Oh my god. So CRISPR Cas9. Drug repurposing. There is a drug called nitisinon which kills Anopheles mosquitoes. Then there is Wolbachia bacteria. Wolbachia method, which UPSC has already asked. We'll see the PYQ. So here they are saying that when you introduce this particular bacteria, Wolbachia is what? It's a bacteria. So when you're introducing into Aedes aegypti and all, so they block viruses like dengue, chikungunya, yellow fever and all. So they are working for these diseases and these transmissions, so to say, but they're ineffective against malaria. So this Wolbachia bacteria, Wolbachia method, it will work against dengue, chikungunya, etc. You can forget all the names. Just remember, it will not work against malaria. Malaria, apart from that, like for most of the diseases, it is blocking viruses. But malaria is caused by Plasmodium parasite, and female Anopheles mosquito is carrying it. So it is ineffective. Remember this. This is important. New bacterial approach, you can certain bacteria secret harming, blocking Plasmodium parasites in Anopheles guts. So there are different approaches. You should not kill them all, but you can get rid of some of them. Female variants are the issue, and we have seen different methods. Now let's solve some question so that you can understand what is really important, not impotent, important in these articles. Guys, I do these things so that things remain awesome. I should, fun study with Shubh is my Telegram channel. Study should be fun, not boring. Wolbachia method is sometimes talked about. See, when we deal with science and tech articles, I will tell you a lot of things, technical things. But when you see UPSC asking questions from science and tech, more often than not, they keep it simple. So we saw Wolbachia method, SIT and whatnot. But here it's all about Wolbachia method. See what question they're asking, crop residue and all. So we know control the viral disease spread by mosquitoes. But we also know Wolbachia bacteria, they will not work against malaria. Malaria is not caused by parasite, like virus rather. It is caused by Plasmodium parasite. And generally, Wolbachia bacteria works against viral diseases. Consider the following statement about mosquitoes. Only female mosquito bite and spread diseases. Of the 3,000 species of mosquito, only few are vectors. Mosquitoes play no. So here in these kind of questions, when you get confused, what you have to do? You have to do Chepandi's. Guys, do option elimination. So we know mosquitoes do play ecological role, pollinators and fish food. So third is wrong. Elimination option. So A is the answer. Guys, grow up, don't act like babies. MCQ3, consider the following statement regarding mosquito control methods. SIT, Wolbachia bacteria equally. So we know third is wrong. And you can pause me whenever you see these questions and try to solve these questions on your own. Cheapu cheapu. So third is wrong, right? So if third is wrong, you eliminate third, you're getting answer A, 1 and 2 only. Very good. Tricky article. Again, science and tech is basically tricky. So you cannot do anything about it. You just can You just should study a lot. IPR Gandhinagar proposes roadmap for India's fusion power plants. So fission reaction, fission and fusion reaction. Whatever electricity etc. you get from nuclear energy, that is mainly fission. Fusion, we are still trying to control it, right? Um, and experiments are going on, like I will show you, and then we'll talk about this article again, a very technical article, but you will see. We will read a lot of technicalities. UPSC will ask a straightforward question. So what is important here? Fusion, we still need to tap it because it's what happens in fission reaction, which we are tapping right now. So you have uranium, you break it into smaller elements, A, B, C, whatever, and it releases neutrons and all, and energy is released. On the other hand, in fusion, you bring together hydrogen, you have to fuse them, and then you get helium and energy. So it's a difficult process, and it is yet to be controlled, and we are trying to do that. Scientists are trying to do that in ITER, International Thermonuclear Experimental Reactor, which is in France, Cadarache, southern France, world's largest experimental nuclear fission project based in tokamak. So tokamak reactor, whenever they say, remember it is nuclear fusion reactor. In this scenario, in this fusion process, hydrogen plus hydrogen converting into helium, you get something known as plasma. There are, like, it has to be, this process requires a high temperature, high pressure, so many things. So in this scenario, what is plasma? Ionized state. So when these electrons are lost or gained, then atoms, gases, they become ionized. Plus charge, negative charge, electron, proton. We have seen, you may have read it in chemistry, because I believe all of you are 18 plus, blah, blah, blah. So this is the fourth state of matter, when a gas is ionized. And in the fusion process, you have this plasma. But this plasma is not stable. So it will remain for few millisecond, microsecond. You want stable plasma to work on fusion process. All these things have to be done in ITER, and now our IPR Gandhinagar, blah, 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 they are also working on this. Sometimes I laugh at my own stupidities, but I love to do this. IPR Gandhinagar proposes roadmap. So again, let's focus. We have read the things which are important. Proposes steady state superconducting tokamak. Tokamak is fusion reactor. Output to input ratio 5x. What does it mean? So let's say, hey, I give an input of 20 megawatt to this fusion power plant. I will get 100 megawatt. This is a hybrid reactor, guys. SST Bharat. SST is social science. When you people were not born, in our time, there used to be subject like social science. So what was I saying? I forgot. So yes, sir. Social science, SST. So SST Bharat. So this is hybrid. 100 megawatt fusion we will get, and 30 megawatt fusion, and we will get a demo reactor by 2060. So almost 13 years after we entered into Amrit Kal, means Viksit Bharat rather, 2047. Target is 250 megawatt output, and Q20. Q20 means initially it will be Q5. Q5 is output to input ratio, and later on we will achieve the target, or the aim is to achieve the target of Q20, as is the aim to become a developed country by 2047. Fusion, light atoms fuse, heavy atom, we have discussed hydrogen plus hydrogen, helium. Fission, heavy atom split, basically they're talking about all the things which we have discussed. Fusion advantage, less radioactive waste. When you talk about fission, you're talking about uranium and all, plutonium and all. So they are radioactive, guys. They are more dangerous. Fission is less dangerous, but it requires extreme heat and pressure, because hydrogen and hydrogen, they don't want to come together and fuse and make helium. So to ensure they are getting fused, they are going into plasma state, they are remaining stable in plasma state, you need a lot of heat and pressure. So both have their own issues. Fission, radioactive element, and fusion, you require very special condition. So fusion method, so how you will make plasma stable, how you will give this high pressure and temperature. So there are process in inertial confinement, magnetic confinement. You don't have to do PhD here. Q value we have just discussed, output to input ratio. What is the best Q value we have achieved up until now? 0.67. That means input is more than output. ITER, this whole thermonuclear reactor, if they want to reach 10, this is going on. See, the target initially, they wanted to commercially utilize fusion earlier only. The target has been delayed. Same thing they're talking about. Fusion is difficult to control, and the target will be delayed, and it will be very expensive initially. So to make, to talk about economy of scale in fusion, that will be a different, like, important thing. Then plasma, you have this plasma, ionized gas, how stable they are. In France, they were able to keep it stabilized till 22 minutes. If you're not keeping it stabilized, how will you generate energy, guys? In India, up until now, 650 millisecond, designed for 16 minutes. So let's see what happens. SST Bharat planned to be operationalized or full-scale demo reactor by 2060. Still a long way away, but because these things take time. They don't happen just like that. So again, you can read all these things. Challenges, funding, it require a lot of money. Private sector is not involved here. Policy, competition, solar, wind, fusion, they are having their own competition. Net zero we have to achieve by 2070. So all these things have to be done. Uncertain timelines. Fusion goal often gets delayed, like we have seen in the case of ITR also. So that can happen in SST Bharat also. Wah, wah, wah. You will understand each and everything once we solve some questions. Don't worry. These articles, they look tough, but they are really well. But even though, let's say there are some issues, we face some issues in fusion, even then whatever magnets etc we will develop, that will help us in other areas. Cheapu Kumars. So superconducting magnets, plasma modeling, whatever you will do, these are very high-tech technologies, high-tech materials, so they will help you. The spin-off technologies will help you in other areas. Now let's solve some questions so that you can understand what are the things which are really important. How important? Really, really, really important. So consider the following statement about Chepandis. India's proposed SST Bharat reactor, fusion fission hybrid, yes, it is correct. Aims to achieve Q value 5 initially, really correct. Expected to be commissioned by 2016, really, really, really correct. So the answer is D, all of the above. PYQ 5 UPSC 2008, ITER project, where is this is getting built? UPSC PYQ, Southern France. PYQ 6 UPSC 2016. India is an important member of ITER. If this experiment succeeds, what is the immediate advantage for India? Pause me, unpause me. Chepandis చెప్పుతలుసు లేదు కాదు. So it can build fusion reactors for power generation. Astrosat, India's first space observatory, completes a decade among the stars. So you have James Webb Space Telescope, etc., etc. So on Earth, there are so many disturbance, interference, light, pollution, this and that. So it's better if you have a telescope in space. So India's telescope in space is Astrosat. Space Observatory, we call it in fancy terms. Space Astronomy Observatory, Astrosat, completed 10 years. Launched in 2015. Before we talk about all these things, first of all, let's look at the important things. Earlier, when you people were not born, around 2015-16, so it was supposed to be, people used to say, or even in 2010s, that UPSC don't ask weight and all these stuff. They don't ask factual questions, but don't go by those misnomer, guys. They sometimes do ask those things. So launch mass 1500 kg around. It is in low Earth orbit, and it's not like India is the only country. Many countries have their astronomy observatory, space observatory. NASA has, European agency has, Japan has, China has. So keep it in mind. They can ask you. Only India is the only country. No, not only country. But and they can even ask you. It was launched by GSLV. No, PSLV. PSLVs are workhorse. PSLV, Polar Satellite Launch Vehicle. GSLV, Geosynchronous Satellite Launch Vehicle. PSLV, 4 stage, solid, liquid, solid, liquid. Engine we are talking about, the fuel which they will be having. GSLV is 3 stage, solid, liquid, cryogenic, cheapu, guys. So again, you can read all these things. They will detect black holes, studying black hole, and they will observe ultraviolet, blah blah blah. You can read it. Just remember, when was it launched? What is the weight? Is India the only country? No. Which are the other countries? In which orbit it is? So all these things are very important. PYQ 7 UPSC 2016, have a look at this and try to do Chepandis here. Chepandis means try to solve this question. Wow. So other than US and Russia, no, India is not the only country. Japan has it, China has it. So first is gone. You're left with B and D. Astrosat 2000, no, it's not 2000, it's around 1500 kg. 2000. So see, you need to remember these numbers, guys. So the answer is D, neither. Guys, please be serious. Don't kid around. Scientists turn to the moon to catch space-time's faintest music. Now you'll be like, oh my god, again a tricky article. Guys, UPSC, when it comes to science and tech, people they get flustered by hearing the word science and tech. So generally, UPSC does not play dicey games in science and tech. They more or less keep things means straightforward. So what is happening here? We are talking about gravitational waves. You have radio waves, you have light waves. Similarly, there's something called as, not exactly similarly, gravitational waves. So what are these gravitational waves? These are ripples in space-time, which is caused by events like black hole mergers, neutron star collisions, etc., etc. So gravitational waves. Studying of these waves will tell us a lot about how universe got formed, initial early years of the universe, how it was expanding, blah blah blah. So that's why we need to study this. Now on Earth we have LIGO, we have different kind of, you cannot observe it from simple telescopes. You need awesome and very interesting kind of instruments and detectors. You have LIGO in US, you have GEO 600 in Germany, Virgo Italy, Kagra Japan. Remember this. But in on Earth there are interferences, there are issues. So we want to make similar kind of detector, gravitational detector on Moon, which will be known as Leela. Naam chahe Leela chahe Reera chahe Ram. No. So Leela is lunar interferometer, lunar antenna. Two times lunar. So again, why Moon? Because low seismic noise, natural vacuum, simpler infrastructure. We can detect gravitational waves at a higher level there. That's why we need Leela. It's proposed, guys. It's not like we have made it. And yeah, and we don't need humans to go there and observe it. We can use lander orbiter. We can use a lander, but again there is an Artemis mission which is planning to land humans on the moon and then further on Mars. But you don't need humans for Leela to work on Moon, and Leela will work, or these kind of gravitational observatories, they work better when there is silence, lesser interference. So gravitational waves, distortion in space-time produced by events like black hole mergers, blah blah blah, extremely weak on small scale, weakening over distance, make detection challenging on Earth. Plus there are too much issues on Earth, like interference, this and that. So that's why it's better if we have it on Moon. Leela, Ram chahe Leela chahe Ram. So again, you can read. You can also read SK, different countries, what kind of gravitational wave observatory they have. Again, this is an evolving phenomena, gravitational wave astronomy. Let's see how things pan out. Let's solve some question so that you can understand how UPSC frames question on all these things. Guys, ELISA, Evolved Laser Interferometer Space Antenna, is to detect gravitational waves. See, you see, they don't ask too tricky question, guys. Like, if you know basic things, you will be able to solve these things, solve these kind of questions. Which of the following statement about gravitational wave is or are correct? Ripples in space-time caused by acceleration of massive objects existence. Yes, it was predicted by Albert Einstein. If you see, when I was getting excited in teaching you, there is a statement here. Einstein was so awesome, man. So awesome. Even when like we found it, we directly observed it in 2015. He predicted it almost 80 years, 90 years back. Such awesome, man. I so want to, go. I want to have a time machine and go back and meet Einstein. I love these intellectual people so much. So yeah, B is the answer, guys. And here they cannot easily be detected on Earth. So third is wrong. If you eliminate third, the answer is C1 and 2 only. Which of the following statement about Leela is correct? Leela, Ram, chahe Leela, chahe Ram. That means uh, Ram wants Leela, Leela wants Ram. उन दोनों के बीच में हम सबका क्या काम? That means why are other people required when those two people are involved with each other? It will detect subharsh gravitational waves that cannot be observed. It will require astronauts. It does not require astronauts. So I have told you that explicitly. So A and B, second is also correct. The gravitational waves which you cannot hear on Earth, you can detect it on Moon, and Leela will do it. B is the answer. I love you, Leela. Na upiriya dipoina, Mr. Perfect. He is Mr. Perfect. Indesi Gutuku. So now, next article, 1st October 2025, polar geoengineering. So these days, what is happening? We are doing a lot of stuff to reduce the impact of global warming. Cirrus cloud thinning we do. So there are certain clouds on, like there are certain clouds which are known as cirrus clouds. So when you thin it, what it does is like basically the infrared, like first of all solar radiation comes and then terrestrial radiation is reflected back into space. These cirrus clouds, they, like, how can I tell you, they absorb, they don't allow terrestrial radiation to go back into space. The more cirrus cloud, more absorption of terrestrial radiation. So if you thin them, more in terrestrial radiation can go back into the space and will be less warmer. So yeah, cirrus cloud thinning we do stratospheric aerosol injection. Stratospheric aerosol injection, we inject aerosol particles. Now what are aerosols? They are solid and liquid in suspended solid and liquid in gaseous particles, aerosols. So these aerosols, they reflect back sunlight. So these are different process we do, which are different types of polar geoengineering. And this article is saying that, dude, rather than doing something good, they are actually doing something bad here. 5 major geoengineering proposal. So geoengineering, large scale deliberate intervention in the earth system. So we are like, there is a creator. Some religion believes there is a creator, some believes no, it's in nature, creation and destruction. So geoengineering, you are trying to alter how nature regulate itself via doing certain stuff like stratospheric aerosol injection. UPSC is already asked PYQ, guys. Aerosols, solid and liquid particles suspended in gaseous medium, and they reflect sunlight. Then you do cirrus cloud thinning so that more and more terrestrial radiation can escape into space, which is absorbed by cirrus clouds. So you do these things to mitigate the impact of global warming, but this requires a lot of money, guys. $55 million per year per country, 30 nations share, right? Plus it will work in, you want reflecting sunlight. In winter, you have no sunlight, so it will not work in winter, but you have to keep on doing it. Risk of termination shock. If you stop it, there will be abrupt warming. Maybe it will reduce warming to a certain extent. It must run continuously. It requires a lot of money, and it will impact global weather and seasons. El Nino, La Nina, it will be impacted. The other point is, do you have $55 million per year per country? Do you have that money? If you don't, then if you can't continue it for a longer period, don't do it. That's what this article is saying. Stratospheric aerosol injection. Hope you understood the keywords. Cirrus cloud thinning, aerosol injection, sea curtain, sea walls. So when you people will grow up, you will read geography, oceanography, ocean currents. So you will read upwelling, downwelling, warm water mixing with cold water. So if you want to reduce global warming, if you want to reduce warming of ocean water, you should create blockades where warm water is not able to mix much with ice sheets. The ways are sea curtain, sea walls. I will show you. This is one example of a sea wall, but like this you will create inside ocean, but then that will have another ramification. Again, it's very expensive. 1 billion, greater than 1 billion per kilometer. Oh my god, somebody give me this $1 billion. I will run away. I will not do anything. I will just roam 195 countries and then roam again. I will go to different countries more than Modisa. So technical difficulties, guys. We are talking about making these kind of barriers inside water, and you need a lot of money. Again, issue. Then glass microbits. So these glass, what they will do, they will increase the ice reflectivity. Again, reflectivity. Again, there is a concept called as albedo. Albedo is the property, like white objects like ice, it has very high albedo, it reflects a lot of sunlight. Black objects, they absorb a lot of sunlight, low albedo. So if you make, if you increase the reflectivity of ice, it will reflect more sunlight, and less sunlight will be reaching earth, warming us. So win-win scenario, right? But again, money. It requires 360 million tons per year. You need these many glass microbits. Costly. Again, cost is a common component which we are seeing, and then there are technicalities which are associated with these kind of things. Then what else? Remember the terms, guys. Remember what is happening. Removing water from beneath glaciers. So you talk about glaciers melting, because of which sea level rising, because of which ocean submerging, like island submerging rather. So you remove water from beneath glacier. That is basal water removal. Again, require constant maintenance and monitoring. And all these things we are trying to change, or we're trying to alter nature. Rather than that, let's focus on decarbonization. This article is saying, focus more on solar energy, wind energy and all. That is better rather than doing these extreme steps or taking these extreme steps. Then in ocean you have something called as phytoplankton. It is said that almost 50% of oxygen or more, whatever you're getting on earth, that is, you're getting it from phytoplanktons. Many people believe it's plant. No, it's not exactly plant. It's plant like microorganism, algae, bacteria, which do photosynthesis inside oceans and seas and whatever. So because they do photosynthesis, in what happens in photosynthesis, even plant, they absorb CO2. So phytoplanktons, they absorb CO2, release O2. So what they are trying to do, if you absorb CO2, you in a way are trying to, you are absorbing carbon. Carbon emission will be reduced, carbon absorption will start, and more phytoplanktons, more carbon absorption. So there is one way by which you can increase phytoplankton, by adding iron to oceans. Again, if you do that, maybe phytoplanktons will increase to such an extent that it will start dominating the whole food chain in the ocean. And again, it will require a lot of money, massive scale. So rather than focusing on, you can understand how technical this article is, guys. How technical. You will thank me later that, sir, you were so awesome, like cheap and ease. In our time, you people were not born. There was an actor, Allu Arjun, Mr. Perfect. There was a movie of his, Arya 2. He is Mr. Perfect. Dingesi to Durakadura, no defect. My favorite actor in this whole universe is Brahmanandam. You people don't know him. He's the best. So climate. So what is the alternative? Decarbonization. Focus on renewable energy, etc. But again, easier said than done, because fossil fuel still provides 80% of the global energy. So something has to be done. Focus on your forest, development of your forest. But there also, if you displace local communities, that will be another issue. So do something, but don't do the previous 5 things which we have discussed. So you read all these things, hope you understood the basic rationale. Let's solve some question, then you'll be able to remember stuff in a much better manner. In the context of which of the following research, some scientists suggest use of cirrus cloud thinning and injection of sulfate aerosol into the stratosphere. We have talked about sulfate aerosol, guys. We have done the Chapandis here. So many people ticked A. I have told you this is not about A, cirrus cloud thinning, because they saw cloud, right? But cirrus cloud thinning we have just discussed. More cirrus cloud, more terrestrial radiation they will absorb and it will not escape into space. It has to escape into space if you want to keep your Earth cooler. So if you thin the cirrus cloud, more terrestrial radiation can escape into space. So the answer is reducing global warming, both the steps. Cheapu cheapu. D is the answer, guys. MCQ 12. Which of the following statement about SAI, stratospheric aerosol injection, is correct? Stratosphere reflects sunlight, yes. Effective not throughout the year. Winter, it's useless because there's no sunlight. You want to reflect sunlight, but in winter there's no sunlight. So second is wrong. Eliminate second. You got Chapin D's. Now you have to check fourth one. It addresses the root. Does it address the root cause? Root cause is something else. Do decarbonization. Root cause. So the answer is B. 1 and 3. B 1 and 3 dined, guys. MCQ 13. Decarbonization challenges. Fossil fuels still supply 80% of global energy. Very good. Political resistance. Yes, these lobbies are always there when money is involved. So second is also correct. Supply chain constraints for lithium, cobalt, rare earth. That is also there. China is hogging all these things. So that's why we are, like so many initiatives are coming up. Pax Silica initiative US is coming up with, because they want to reduce Chinese hegemony over these things. So yes, third is also correct. Answer is C. 1, 2, and 3. C 1, 2, and 3 again. Everything rhymes. Cost of convenience, health hazard as a side effect of using digital tools. So what has happened these days? You have laptop, you have tab, you have this, you have that, and all this and that has led to increase in electronic waste. Oh my god, chipandis. These electronic waste, they have a lot of toxic substance, lead, mercury, cadmium, and hey, what did I do, man? Sometimes I click anything and everything, I get scared, guys. So it has to be, handled properly. E-waste management rule was there in 2011, which introduced the concept of extended producer responsibility, that producers who, let's say HCL or Lenovo, etc., whatever, different companies, they are the ones, they have to discard their electronic waste properly, but that is not happening. Most of these waste are informally processed, and that leads to lots of issues, because you see how much pollutants they have: lead, mercury, cadmium, persistent organic pollutants, but they don't have plutonium or nuclear materials. So if these options come in exam that e-waste contain plutonium, no, plutonium is like nuclear, guys, you will go so no, but yes, they have these kind of materials, you can see, and it has to be processed formally rather than informally. It creates a scenario which is known as syndemic. Focus on these keywords, they are really important. What is syndemic? You can not guess it if you have not read it earlier. You may equate it with pandemic and all, epidemic and all. So syndemic means what? Multiple conditions. Let's say you are poor, you are malnourished, and then you also get a disease like some respiratory disease, so that creates a multiple condition. You are suffering from 3 4 more diseases because of the scenarios, pre-existing vulnerabilities. That is syndemic, guys. So respiratory diseases happens, lead, mercury, cadmium affects brain development in children, you see. So you are anyway suffering brain development, and you are also poor, you are also malnourished. What else is left? God, bring me up. In Guyana, e-waste exposure is linked to miscarriages. So yes, e-waste, hazardous. Again, so you can see how many women and children and vulnerable people are involved, and that's why e-waste management rule was introduced in 2011, which bring the concept of EPR. And now we want stronger EPR, extended producer responsibility. Remember this, they can ask you, extended producer responsibility concept was introduced for the first time via which act or which rule? E-waste management rule 2011. Now this is 11 years after, but implementation is still weak. Something has to be done. Life is very cheap in our country, you people have to make it, you know, precious by your work. So you can read all these jibber jabber in your free time. Let's solve some questions. MCQ, guys, please be serious. 14. Which of the following health effects are associated with cheapu cheapu? No cheapu, no cheapu, no, no, no. Respiratory illness, yes sir. Neurological damage and developmental delays, yes sir. Second. So now just check the fourth one. Increased risk of no plutonium, sir. Radioactive contamination if it happens. Can you use a laptop which is emitting, radioactive substances? No. So fourth is wrong. It's just too extreme. No plutonium here. So A 1, 2, and 3. Let's solve 2019 PYQ. In India, extended producer responsibility was introduced as an important feature in which of the following? I just told you. If you make mistake here, I will kill you all and eat you alive, because you people are cheapu cheapu. No cheapu. So the answer is e-waste management and handling rules 2011. PYQ 16. Due to improper, indiscriminate disposal of old and used computers, which of the following are released into the environment as e-waste? Use option elimination, guys, and become a really good boy, or Very good girl based on who you are. Ha ha ha, I love you. Na upiriyadi poina, I love you na pranam poina. So we know plutonium is not there. Eliminate 7, man. Plutonium will be there. If plutonium will be there, nobody will be using laptops, etc. So, so the answer is B if you eliminate 7th. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6. MCQ 17. Which of the following interventions are suggested for safe e-waste management? Bring Shubham Sagar whenever you're talking about e-waste management. No. No, 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 na, 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 re, na, re. So not complete ban on electronic consumption. Eliminate 4, you will get the answer A12. So whenever you see these kind of questions, so many options, use option elimination, guys. It will help you. Don't start doubting your knowledge and knowledge credentials. Like, share, and subscribe, spread the word. And if I'm adding to your knowledge base, you can donate at this particular number. If you want this PDF, you can again send me a WhatsApp message at this particular number only, guys. Kept in check. Nobel Prize has been given. Nobel Prize, UPSC has asked PYQs on Nobel Prize. And let's talk about Nobel Prize related to science, physiology or medicine. Physiology is the same as medicine. So here it has been given for T-Rex, regulatory T cells. What is the basic concept of regulatory T cells? For understanding all this jibber jabber, let's try to understand things in a simpler manner. Immune system, our body defense system. So what are the part like of immune system? What are these body defense system? Like when we fight, when we were kids, you people are still kids. So when you used to come fighting from school, your mother will go and fight with that kid's mother. So our mother were the WBCs, white blood cells, the soldiers that attacked invaders or antibodies, special proteins. So these immune system, how they will decide whether they have to attack foreign agents or they have to attack their own body, if I start fighting with my own sister, that would be wrong, right? So to ensure that I am fighting with others, sisters and brothers and not my own, you have something called as T cells, T-Rex, which works on a particular gene. We'll talk about it. So these WBC antibodies, they detect invaders, they destroy them rather than destroying their own cell. But you have to understand this. Which are enemies, which are your friends. Our cells are our friends, but not always. In the case of cancer, you have to destroy your own cells. Then you have to tell your WBC etc that you attack your own cell. So this Treg, what it ensures that our immune system is not attacking our own cell. So when we want this thing to work, we have to increase our T cell. But in the case of cancer, we want to reduce our T cell because we want our immune system to attack our own cell. Hope you're understanding. So this is tricky. This is on this particular thing only Nobel Prize has been given. Maybe UPSC will not ask you directly Nobel Prize, although they have asked directly a Nobel Prize. I will show you. But they can ask you the whole concept of T-Rex and all. Self-tolerance is this concept when immune system is not attacking our own body cells. If the control fails, it can cause autoimmune disease like type 1 diabetes or arthritis. So in the case if you have diabetes like this one or arthritis of this kind, then steps will be taken to increase your T-Rex, regulatory T cells. They are brakes that stop the immune system from overreacting or attacking the body itself. Hope you are understanding the basic rationale. T cells are type of white blood cells, play a role, and they are called T because they mature in thymus, organ near the heart. Heart, people will say. Now let's talk about this whole news. So you understood this whole physiology Nobel Prize is associated with T-Rex, given to Brunkow, Ramsdell, Sagaguchi for their work on regulatory T cells and the transcription factor FOXP3. FOXP3 is a gene. So this gene, if you have this gene, T cell will work properly. So in mice, the experiment was done where they removed this gene. Loss of FOXP3 led to immune system collapse because if this particular gene is not there, T cell will not work properly. So that is what they are saying. Simon Sagaguchi identify a subset of T cell which is known as regulatory T cell or Tregs. Removing these cells cause multiple autoimmune disease because then immune system started attacking your own body, and these Tregs were also working on FOXP3. So if these regulatory T cells, they have this particular gene, it will work properly, otherwise immune system will collapse and start attacking your own body. That's what this article is saying. And we have already talked about the basic rationale, so you can have a look at it. Let's solve some question so that you can remember stuff in a much better manner. So discovering how body controls immune system from attacking itself. Sagaguchi, he found a type of immune cell called Tregs, regulatory T cell, and they discovered a gene on which is needed for these Tregs to work. So again, if you want your like body to not attack your own cells, you need to increase Tregs. But in the case where you want your body immune system to attack your cell, like in cancer, you have to reduce Tregs. So it's not like you have to always increase Tregs. This is a tricky part, guys. This is actually a very interesting part. So keep these points in mind. Not always you have to increase Tregs. In the case of cancer, sometimes Decreasing T-Rex is the way to go. Chepu Kumaris, Sappe Bharis. Guys, why you people do like this? Nobel Prize, Alfred Nobel. See, when he started Nobel Prize was only given for physics, chemistry, medicine, and literature and peace. This economy was added later on. I've already made economy part 2 where we have talked about this economy prize, prescriptive theory and all. So you can have a look at it. And it is given annually 10th December. They can ask you, peace prize was added later. No, economy prize was added later. So you can see who is giving what prize in your free time. Have a look at it. I love you na upiria di poina. I love you. Just give me a second, guys. Because I can't be Shankar Mahadevan. I also have to take pauses. Why you people talk like babies? So regulatory T cell Tregs are primarily responsible for preventing the immune system from attacking the body. Chepandis. PYQ 19 UPSC 2006 Nobel Prize December 10. Very correct. Not only very correct, it is really correct. Guys. Nobel Prize for Literature was added later, not literature added, economy later added later. So second is wrong. So the answer is A, one only. Kuchi kuchi ku. MCQ 20. Which of the following best describes self-tolerance in the immune system? Ability of immune cells to recognize and avoid attacking the body's own cell. That is self-regulation or self-tolerance. Physics Nobel Prize. So whenever you're reading Nobel Prize, read all of them at the same time, guys. You know, that is called smart study. Like when you read Parliament, you read state legislature. When you read PM, you read CM. Same way. Physics Nobel Prize, what has been, for what it has been given. See, there is something called as quantum physics. Quantum physics means physics which is working for smaller particles, you know, tiny particles, electron, protons, photons, etc. And then you have something called as classical physics, which is working for macroscopic particles. Macro means big particles, how planets and cars move. Earlier it was believed that quantum mechanics physics will work only for smaller particles, but now we can see that no, even for big objects, quantum mechanics physics can work. See, understand one thing. Even this, I was reading, watching one Oxford professor, someone who was teaching quantum mechanics. So he said that, I'm teaching you this quantum mechanics right now. I only don't know what is quantum mechanics. He was quantum mechanics professor. After the end of this lecture, all of us will not know what is, all of us will be not knowing what is quantum mechanics because it's tricky, it's confusing. So we have to focus on things which are actually important. Superconductors that conduct electricity without any resistance. I will try to make it as simple for you as possible. Quantum computer, so like current computer, whatever you're using, you have bit system 0 or 1. It cannot be 0 1 at the same time, but qubit which you use in quantum computers, they can be both 0 and 1 at the same time. It's like light, it is particle and wave at the same time. Hope you are understanding. So this is qubit, quantum computer, quantum computing related to tiny particles. Now let's talk about this Nobel Prize in Physics. They are saying John Clark, Michel Devoret, John Martinish. They're saying that the quantum physics rules can be applied to even large electrical circuits. They devised a Josephson junction. So generally what happens, let's say there is a hill here. So for microscopic particles, you have to go like this. But these quantum particles, they can dig a tunnel and they could go like this, even if they have no energy. And and this is called quantum tunneling. And again, you don't have to do PhD. And they realized that this whole tunneling effect, which can be done by quantum particles, smaller particles, it was like this Josephson junction, which is like superconductor, a microscopic particle. They were also able to do that, which is basically done by smaller particles, which is done on a quantum level. So that means even quantum physics can be applied to big electrical circuit. A property involving trillions of electrons can behave as one quantum system. At cold temperatures, electric current could tunnel through the barrier even without energy, which is basically a quantum effect. Electron protons can do that, but not big particles. I cannot do that. If I don't have energy, I have to go like this. I cannot tunnel it through. But inside my body or any particular electron and proton, they can do this tunneling. Now they have seen even bigger electrical circuit can do it. Challenge is to keep quantum state stable and all. Oh, I know you did not understand it. It's fine. Let's solve some questions so that you can understand what is needed for you to understand. What is UPSC asking? UPSC is not going into the intricacies. You are not doing PhD in quantum physics. Even people who do quantum physics, PhD in quantum physics, they don't know what is quantum physics. Let's solve some questions so that you can understand the meanings of these phrases and the terms which you need to know. Based on UPSC PYQ, Chipu Kumari, Chipu 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 Chipu. Guys, let's focus. Quantum tunneling is a particle passing through an energy barrier it classically cannot overcome. Classically means during, according to the laws of classical physics, which works on macroscopic object B. Which of the following is the, see how UPSC frames questions on these things. That will give you an idea what is important, what is not. So qubit is what? Associated with quantum computing, basic. So don't worry too much. Just read these things. You will thank me later. You're like, sir, you're so good, so cute. Well, guys, don't objectify me. John Clark, Michel Devoret, and John Martinis won the Nobel Prize in Physics for Chapandis. No, you may get confused in A and B. It was not done in subatomic particles. What they did it in bigger circuits, and they showed that quantum properties are working in bigger circuit also. So macroscopic quantum effects in electrical circuit. Many people may tick A, but the answer is B. Revise it, you will understand. B is the answer, guys. Next, chemistry Nobel Prize. So these are science related, physiology, medicine, physics, and chemistry. And let's try to make it as simple as possible, because Chipandis, what Chipandis? You people are. Chipandis means good boys, good girls. Chipandi is an umbrella word for me, guys. So, you people were not born. There was a movie in our time, Dictator. So there was a dictator, Aladdin or something like that. It's a humorous movie. So he named everything Aladdin, Aladdin, Aladdin. I want to name everything Chepandis because Chepandis is my favorite word. And my favorite phrase is Cheputelsu Ledu Kadu. So Chemistry Nobel Prize has been given for metallic organic framework. What is metallic organic framework? Let me show you. So so this is an example of metallic organic framework. So you have metal ions here. They are held together by organic molecules. What are organic molecules? Let's go very slowly, as Badsha will say. Slowly. So organic molecules are molecules made up of carbon and hydrogen, building blocks. Even our body particles, cells, etc. They are made up of organic molecules. So these organic molecules, they are acting as linkers which joins metal ions. And the resultant structure which they are forming is MOF, metallic organic framework. This is very spongy, it can trap gases which can help us in reducing global warming and all, and that's why this metallic organic framework matters a lot. And on this particular concept, Nobel Prize in chemistry has been given. It's not like chemistry can only give you physical objects fully filled and all. It can also give you these vacuum related kind of objects. Hope you're understanding. Metal organic framework, materials made up of metal ions and organic molecules that form porous, sponge like crystals, like kuchi kuchi ku. See, this is spongy. My cheeks and all, yours cheeks will be. So this kind of structures, metal organic framework. Not exactly, but we are understanding. They can help to fight climate change. How? By trapping gases. 90 again. So Roption, Kitagawa, all these people, they study certain things. They made MOFs that could hold and release gases, breathe, and as molecules moved in and out, because they are held together. Metal ions are held together by organic molecules. They can expand and contract as well. Wow, metal organic framework, such cutie pie they are. Omar Yagi invented reticular chemistry. I don't know why Nobel Prize are fixated on 3 people. Not exactly threesome, guys, ship. But they generally give it to 3 people. Here also 3 people. You people say anything and everything, I kill you all. Mr. Perfect. Around the same time, Omar Yagi invented, you can see all these things. We have understood the basic rationale that chemistry can design even empty space, not just solid matter, giving room for both molecules and imagination. So let's solve some questions so that you can understand what is important and what is not. Metal ions or clusters with organic linkers, they will create metal organic framework. In MOFs, the role of organic molecules. What are these organic molecules? They are linkers connecting metal ions in a framework. You see, these organic molecules, they are linkers. Whoa, cheapu. C is the answer. MCQ5. The properties of MOFs rather, breathing refers to expansion or contraction as molecules move in and out. A unique feature of MOFs that contributes to sustainability is their ability to design empty space to trap molecules efficiently. GI tag fee cut to 1000 rupees. Wow, GI tag. How like Ambaji Marble of Gujarat, Ponchampalli Khat of Telangana. Remember these GI tags. Geographical Indication Act of 1998-99. Darjeeling tea, first product to get GI tag. All these things are not only important, really important. How important? Really. Just give me a second, guys. I love you, Mr. Perfect. He is Mr. Perfect. Indesi Gutuku Durakuduranu defect. So GI tag fee. So let's say tribal people, we want to apply. GI tag, geographical indication. unique to a particular region. So you have different terms, guys, which you have to keep in mind. Like you have patent, trademark. I keep on telling people about this. Copyright, patent, trademark, copyright, GI tag. So patent you get for, let's say, invention. Novartis, they made some medicines and all, so they will get patent. Trademark is for companies, let's say they have a unique trademark, unique logo. Copyright is, let's say, A.R. Rahman or Anu Malik, etc. They compose some songs or something. Roshni se bhare 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 naina tere. That means your eyes are filled with light. Your eyes are filled with light. छू के बोले ना छूना मुझे. That means touch me. Don't touch me. Don't touch me. सोनिए. Dhoom 3 came just in between that song. Okay. So GI copyright A.R. Rahman, compositions etc. GI tag unique to a particular region. Bengal Rasagulla, Odisha's Rasagulla. These two states, they keep on fighting. Rasagulla is unique to which region? Ponchampallika, Telangana. Kashmiri saffron. So remember these things. Ambaji marble of Gujarat, they have got the GI tag now, apart from other things. So geographical indication tag fee, application fee reduced from 5,000 to 1,000. Wow, Amrit Khan. Again, things are going on. Everybody is congratulating everybody. You can read it in your free time. What is important is this thing is happening on as part of Janjati Gaurav Divas, 15th November, Birsa Munda sir's birthday. Birsa Munda Rebellion, Ulgula. UPSC has already asked me, you remember these things, they are very important. GI tags, remember all of them, guys. Paste it on your wall and look at it like you look at your girlfriend's image or whatever. Monica Bellucci's and Angelina Jolie, Brad Pitt and all. So you have to have a look at them. Apatani textile. Oh, I love Arunachal. Apatani tribes. Apatani is also a tribe there. Lepchatungbuk, Bodo Arunai, Martandam honey, Ambaji white marbles. It's in news constantly. Martandam honey also. Tamil Nadu people, Tamil people, they're the cutest people in the whole world. Bedu and Badri cow ghee. Cow ghee. Like, there are people, Rajasthani people, they eat a lot of ghee. Marwari people, oh my god, their house smells of ghee. I love ghee. Such cute people they are. PYQ 27 UPSC 2018. Now this I did not tell you, so you have to use your pre-existing knowledge to solve this particular question. Try to do it and become a really good boy or really good girl. Wah, wah, wah. So GI Tag Act 1999 was basically to comply with WTO and it strips obligations, trade related aspects of intellectual property rights. Very good. D. Which of the following statement GI tag correct issued under trade? No, not Trademarks Act. There is a GI Act, GI tag Act in 1999. So first is wrong. Second, no. First product, yes, Darjeeling. We don't even need to check. It's valid for 10 years, guys, and then it can be renewed. So the answer is B2 only. Again, see, similar type of articles, GI tag related. So keep it in mind. So I clubbed them together. Whoa, no. Oh my God, we started in the afternoon. It's been night now. So Gujarat Ambaji's marble get GI tag for its quality. Ambaji, it is said that this marble was even used in Dilwara temple of Mount Abu and all. It is used even in foreign countries. So remember it. If a separate article has been devoted to Ambaji marble, that means it is important. The other things related to GI tag we have already DC means discussed. DC. Bhupendra Patel, Chief Minister, was very happy. This Dilwara temple, it has this Ambaji marble. Now do research on Dilwara temple, Mount Abu, who made it. It is also used in US, New Zealand and England. Wow, so proud. So what is GI tag? Is it Chepandi, Chepu, Telsu Ledu or Khadu? Certification identifying goods based on their geographical origin and characteristics. Now, this is a good question. This is a good question. But your question hurt me. Chepu. I love you now, Piriya Dipoina. So Ambaji marble, Gujarat, Kashmir saffron. Obviously, Kashmir saffron will not be a Bihar, right? If it's Kashmir is written already. Ponchampalli Katna, Tamil Nadu, Telangana. So I'm from Bihar, guys. So third is wrong. Answer is B, only two. Ino that wasn't, and Juno that is. What is Ino Juno? These are like neutrino observatories, neutrino, elementary particles, which reacts very weakly with matter. So right now also when I'm speaking, these neutrinos, they're passing through my body. I may not be realizing it. Maybe they want to touch me, don't touch me, Sonia. So I have to tell to these neutrinos, why are you touching me without my consent? As Huma Qureshi said in Gangs of Wasipur, permission leni chahiye thi. They should take my permission, these neutrinos. So neutrinos, elementary particles, again, they will tell us a lot about the universe. That's why you want to study them. But they are very difficult to detect So we have, we were supposed to create, we were creating our neutrino observatory in Theni, Tamil Nadu, but that has not happened. On the other hand, China has went ahead with their neutrino observatory. It has been, it's operationalized now inside a mountain in Theni, Tamil Nadu. So neutrinos, they are chargeless, neutral. They don't have any charge. They are almost massless, but they have little bit of mass. Little bit of mass. Remember these facts, they are really important. Cool. So China has built their Juno, Jiangmen Underground Neutrino Observatory. They can even ask you where it is. And we did not, because of politics, and people were worried whether these neutrinos, they will harm us, this observatory, it will harm us. But the reality is, even now when we are speaking, you are speaking, neutrinos are passing through it. They are touching us. Touch me, don't touch me, don't touch me, Sonia. They are actually touching us. So they weakly react with human bodies. They won't cause any issues as such. So why this happened? Juno is publishing preprint papers, and we are like nowhere to be seen. We have to do something. And it's like India is absent from, like, Juno, they published papers, even though our INO was not made. Our neutrino based scientists who are working or researching on neutrinos, if that is the right way of saying it, they should be there, right? But there were no researchers. There were no Indian researchers even in China's Chang'e mission. Now, this is important. They can ask you, Chang'e is associated with China's lunar mission, and yeah, far side of the moon, what side of the moon, revise it. Big science project. What are those big science projects? Big science projects which generally requires international collaborations. And it's not only about science, even wildlife conservation, etc., can be big science projects. So conservation areas, astronomy, we have done good, man. But you see, INO, the failure of INO, it's not a good thing. It's political pressure. We should have been like been ready. If people are worried about neutrino observatory in Tamil Nadu, we should have allayed those fears, but we didn't. MCQ 31, India-based neutrino observatory has been stalled due to opposition from local communities and political issues. B, which are considered of big science projects, require international collaboration. Yes, sir. They can, no, not single scientist, minimal infrastructure. They're big projects, man. So second is wrong. Now you're left with A and D. Oh, even not D, you're left with A only. Done. They involve long-term funding and complex administration. PYQ 33, UPSC 2010. India-based neutrino observatory is included by Planning Commission, blah, blah, blah. So neutrinos are chargeless elementary particles. Yes, sir. First is correct. Created in, now let's say you don't know second. Forget about it. They have negligible but non-zero mass, I've told you. So third is correct. Third is there, all of them. Trillions of neutrino pass through human body. I've told you, touch me, don't touch me, don't touch me, Sonia. So fourth is correct. If fourth is correct, that means the answer is D. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Everything is correct, guys. So UPSC has asked PYQs, they are important. So that's it from me for the second part, guys. I will see you soon. Like, share, and subscribe, spread the word. You are your own competition. You're not competing with anybody else. Just try to be better than what you were yesterday. And you can also donate if I'm adding to your knowledge base. If you want this particular PDF, you can send me a WhatsApp message at this same number. Take care, be blessed. I will see you soon. Hello everyone, Chepandis, Chepatul Dukkadu, guys. Today is an awesome day. Awesome. So again, Mausam awesome, bada. That means Mausam is awesome. Today we have to talk about 50 most important current affairs, science and tech, part 3. Oh my god, look at that. Okay, topic as Nicki Minaj would say. Let's start, guys. So we have already covered 25 most important current affairs of science and tech. Rest 25 we have to cover now. Cool. My name is Shubham Saka. You can connect with me on LinkedIn and become a really good boy, a really good girl. This is my Telegram channel. I share, I do Hindu analysis Monday to Saturday, and I share PDFs, Hindu analysis PDF here. So you can join this Telegram channel. Awesome. 26th article published on 2nd December 2025. Why does India need bioremediation? What is bioremediation? Bio, organisms, microorganisms. So when you are trying to break apart, let's say these, waste and all, using microorganism, that is called as bioremediation, in situ bioremediation, ex situ bioremediation. In situ, let's say this is a landfill, you're seeing here in Bangalore. If you do the process here only, the breaking of these materials and waste by microorganism at the same place, this is in situ. But if you take them with you, treat them somewhere else, and then you bring them here again or somewhere else, so that is ex situ remediation, bioremediation. So we have to talk about all these things. UPSC has already asked PYQs on bioremediation. Chipukumaris, Sapibharis. That means you people are Chipukumaris and you people are better than everybody else. Guys, So bioremediation, to understand one thing also, the problem with bioremediation is when you're using these microorganisms, bacteria, fungi, or fungi, algae, plants, it's somewhat ineffective against heavy metals like lead, etc. It will not break them totally, maybe it will convert them to something less harmful. So human generated waste, degrading air, blah blah blah. So there is two things which we have to do: reduce waste or clean existing waste. In that regard, bioremediation can be a way where we are using these microorganisms or bacteria, fungi, algae, plants to break down or detoxify pollutants. Here plants is also there. Do remember, heavy metals, there is certain limitation how much these bioremediation techniques can work. Types of bioremediation: in situ. We talk about in situ conservation, ex situ conservation, like these zoo botanical gardens, they are ex situ. On the other hand, national park, wildlife sanctuaries, biosphere reserve, they're in situ. So UPSC has asked questions related to that as well. Revise it and become a really good boy. So toxic metals, heavy metals, sometimes they will not decompose them totally or break them totally, but they can convert them into safer non-leaching forms. In situ treatment conducted directly at the contaminated site. Oil-eating microbes on ocean spill. So sometimes big ships carry oils from one place to another and they fall or they go down in the ocean. There, if you do this whole thing, oil eating microbes, then that is bioremediation in situ. Ex situ, contaminated material is removed, treated elsewhere, and then returned. Modern advancement, now we are using genetically modified microbes, and that is good. But again, we know in India, people are resistant, means, oh my god, they're resistant about these GM crops and all, genetically modified. They feel it can impact our health, this and that. So in that regard, people has to be taken into confidence as well when you are doing all these stuff. India needs it because rapid industrialization is happening. Ganga and Yamuna, it's so polluted, so we need it. Bioremediation can help in Ganga cleaning, it can help in Swachh Bharat mission, it can help in Namami Gange program, but it's growing pilot stage. DBT, Department of Biotechnology, CSIR, Council of Scientific and Industrial Research, they are doing work. IITs are developing innovative materials, cotton derived nanomaterials, nanocomposite, 1 nanometer is equal to 10 to the power minus 9 meter. Oh my god, for oil spills. The challenge is, it's not like one size fit all approach. For different sites, you need to follow different bioremediation techniques. International efforts: Japan is doing stuff, microbial plus plant based cleanup. EU, they are using cross national microbial remediation projects. It's not confined to one country because they are a group. So one thing which is working in one country, they bring it to other countries also. China prioritizing bioremediation using soil pollution laws, GM bacteria. But again, the problem with India is GM bacteria, GM of anything, we are very hesitant to use them. So let's see what happens. Opportunities, we can, this bioremediation can support programs. You can read all these things. Use of GM organisms require strict biosafety monitoring, and public expectancies or acceptance is also essential. So we have talked about it. You can read it. These things more important from mains perspective, but yes, now when you solve these questions, PYQs or MCQs, you will realize what is important from pre perspective. Oh my god, guys, please grow up. In situ treatment at the site of contamination, really collect. Ex situ contaminated material is removed, treated and returned. Really collect. So the answer is C, both. PYQ2 asked by UPSC in 2017. You can pause me right now and then unpause me and then try to solve this question. Technique for cleaning a pollution by enhancing the same biodegradation process that occurs in nature. Maybe you are confused. Keep it in the loop. Any contaminant with heavy means heavy metals can really be completely, I have told you, this is the limitation. Heavy metals, they can be converted into something else, but not completely treated by bioremediation. So second is wrong, eliminated. Now you don't even need to know one, just check the third, because one is there in both A and C. Genetic engineering can be used. Yeah, we have talked about GM crops, this and that. So C is the answer. Whoa, guys, please, serious. Next is 27th article, 1st January 2026, sex system. Boost mitochondrial evolution in many kinds of insects. So before we talk about, here there is diplodiploid, haplodiploid and all those stuff which we have to talk about and become a really good boy. So before we talk about all these things, just give me a second, guys. Just give me a second, guys. Just give me a second, guys. I do these stuff. Let's talk about some basic stuff in this article. And then we'll go to the trickier part. What is the basic stuff? So first of all, this part. Mutations. What is mutation? You have DNA. What is DNA? Genetic code of living things. How we will grow, how we will look, everything is there in DNA. Every cell has DNA. It is passed from parents to children. Changes in DNA is known as mutation. Remember these words. Mitochondria, it is known as powerhouse of the cell. It makes energy for the body, right? Most of these mitochondria, we What most? We get mitochondria from our mothers. Sometimes our mothers may have faulty mitochondria. Then what we do, we have a three-parent baby, we do pro-nuclear transfer. We remove those mitochondria which we are inheriting from, because then a child will be impacted, right? So that is pro-nuclear transfer, when you're taking care of these faulty mitochondria of your mother. So again, mitochondria powerhouse of the cell, mutations, changes in DNA. DNA is basically about how we will look, how we will act, and everything. DNA is our genetic code. Now haplodiploid and diplodiploid. Again, now we are going into the tricky areas. Females, they have two sets of chromosomes. Let's take them as like, XX. Male, they have one set of chromosome. Let's say it is Y. Just in haplodiploid. We humans, we are diplodiploid. Female has two sets of chromosome, males has two sets of chromosome, female XX, male XY. In the case of haplodiploid ants, bees, wasps, they are females have two sets and males have one set. Sex depends on fertilization. If the female egg is fertilized, then a female will be produced. Female egg is fertilized, then a female will be produced. If it is unfertilized, then it will be male. What does it mean? What does that mean? The meaning here is, let's say even we don't know what kind of chromosomes they have. Basically, the meaning here is, if I will tell you. So this male ant, they have no father. Male, if because haplodiploid system, ant, bees, and wasp, they belong to a male bee. They have no father. So it's all about fertilization. If a male egg is fertilized, if an egg is fertilized, then it will be a female in the haplodiploid system. If it is not fertilized, then it is a male. Male ant, male bees, male wasp, they have no father. They only have mother. Only mother passes mitochondria, but male haploidy, even though male have only one set of chromosome, they still affect the evolution of mitochondria, which will be shown by the study. We'll talk about it. Diplodiploid, we humans. So here it's not about sex. Male or female, whatever has to happen, sex has to happen. But it's not only about sex, it's also about chromosome which we are inheriting. Please remember, haplodiploid, it's all about fertilization. If fertilization happens, female. If it's not, male. In the case of diplodiploid, fertilization will be happening, but even after that, it depends on chromosomes, like female XX, male XY. Here we can specifically say what chromosomes male and female have. So let's say we inherited X from our, like there is only X in female, and then we inherited Y from male. So then we are male. If we are inheriting XX from both male and female, we are female. So basically, whether you will be, I will be a male. I am a male because I have inherited Y chromosome from my father. If I would have inherited X chromosome from my father, I would have been a female rather than a male. So in like in diplodiploid system, whether we will be a male depends on whether we are taking Y chromosome from our father or not. Both parents contribute one chromosome set equally, diplodiploid. So now this, hope you understood some part of it. We'll solve some question, you will understand everything. So this sex system thing is saying that in haplodiploid system, you have only two sets of chromosomes with female and one set of chromosome with male. So ideally, and mitochondria we are getting all from female. Doesn't matter whether you're haplodiploid or diplodiploid. So ideally, mitochondrial DNA evolution should not depend on father's mitochondria, right? What kind of gene they have. But the research is something surprising. They're saying that mitochondria are inherited only from mothers, but even male chromosome structure still influences evolution. So in haplodiploid system, since there is only one set of chromosome of males, so mutation changes in DNA show their effect immediately because they don't have to choose much, unlike diplodiploid system where males have two sets of chromosome. So there is a link between sex determination system and mitochondrial evolution. Basically, in simple terms, what they are saying, you may feel like since mitochondria we are taking from our mother, so changes in chromosomes of our father will not impact our mitochondria much, but in the haplodiploid system they impact. What kind of chromosomes our male has in haplodiploid system, they affect the in a way impact the mitochondrial evolution in haplodiploid system. Ideally, male should not have anything to do with mitochondrial evolution, but it does impact certain stuff in haplodiploid system, and that's why these ants, bees, wasps, they are complex. Again, that is it. Let's solve some questions so that you can understand what this article is talking about. We don't have to do PhD here, but we have to understand certain things. Haplodiploid systems, males are produced from unfertilized egg. I've told you, male ant, male bees, they don't have any father, unfertilized. If it is fertilized, then it will be a female. Second, this is a tricky article, guys. You have to revise it multiple times. PYQ4, UPSC 2020. Pro-nuclear transfer, faulty mitochondria in mothers. Prevention of mitochondrial diseases in offspring. D. MCQ5, diplodiploid sex determination. Both in diplodiploid, both males and females are diploid. We are diploid, that means we have two sets of chromosome, XX female, XY males. And again, humans are diplodiploid. C. MCQ 6 in haplodiploid insects depends primarily on fertilization. If it is fertilized, female. If it is unfertilized, male. C. Next article, 28th article, 6th January 2026. What remote sensing reveals about plants, forests, and minerals from space? So, remote sensing is what? In our time, you people were not born. There was a movie, Race. Touch me, don't touch me, don't touch me, Sonia. Oh no, this is not a song of Race. Zara, Zara, touch me, touch me, touch me. Yes, that is a song of Race. Touch me, don't touch me is a song from Dhoom. So, touch me. Here in remote sensing, there is no touch, no touchy touchy. So, without touching, they observe from a distance, and via that they will tell a lot of stuff, like plants, if they're healthy, they reflect infrared lights and they absorb red lights. So if from a particular biome or region, if you're seeing more reflection of infrared light, that means that is a healthy ecosystem, plant ecosystem. So that's how remote sensing is helping us. Remote sensing satellites, they're not used for telecommunication, guys. Remember, they're just giving you an information about how much chlorophyll content is there, etc. For that, you have different communication satellites. Remote sensing not used for telecommunication. They're used for understanding, how things work. Like we have seen, healthy plants, they reflect near infrared light, absorb red light. So if more infrared light is reflected, plant system is healthy, biosystem is healthy. If less, then that means they are not healthy. High infrared, near infrared reflection, healthy vegetation. Forest biomass, again, how much forest, carbon forest store, all these things they tell. All then there are different types of sensors, like optical sensors using light. They cannot work through night, so we have synthetic radio waves, which they will be using. NISAR satellite, NASA and ISRO. So here they will be using radio waves, so they can work day and night. And now when we have talked about plant, how they are understanding healthy biomes, chlorophyll content, everything. Rough surfaces, soil buildings, they appear bright. Water surfaces, they appear black. So let's say on a particular bright surface, if we are seeing more and more patches of black, that means water is coming inside this region. That means flood is happening, right? So that's how they understand stuff. They tell you stuff, assessing water quality. Clear, muddy, algae rich water reflects light differently. So you can understand how remote sensing is helping us without doing touch. Zara, Zara, no touch me, no touch me. That is the basic philosophy of remote sensing. And again, you can read all this. NASA's GRACE mission, they understand and they focus on gravity. What happens? Underground water, if it is more, it increases gravitational pull. And when the gravitational pull will be, more, satellite distance will also change. So based on that, if they see more gravitational pull, they say that there is more underground water. In India, when GRACE data was observed, we realized that gravitational pull in Indian region is less. That means the groundwater depletion is happening. So all these things are done by remote sensing. Oh my god, remote sensing. Chepandi, you are a good boy. Healthy vegetation reflects which of the following the most? Near infrared light. C. PYQ at UPSC 2015. Remote sensing, I have told you, not used for telecommunication. Remove 4, 5. You're left with A and C. Check the third one. Mineral exploration, yes, they can help in that. A. Satellite image remote sensing are used. Chlorophyll content, yes, we have seen near infrared and all. So more infrared reflection, more healthy ecosystem, more quantity of chlorophyll. First is correct. Now you're left with second and third. You have to check that. Greenhouse gas emission from a rice paddies, yes, they do help in land surface temperature of a specific location, everything. So the answer is D, 1, 2, and 3. Just remember one keyword: remote sensing, not used for telecommunication. This is important. GRACE mission was primarily used to measure changes in Chepandi's no Earth's gravity field. See. Next article, 29th article. How did space sector fare in the budget? 4th February 2026. Chipandi Kumaris, Sappe Bhauris. Who are Chipandi Kumaris? You people are. I love you. So what is happening here? Just give me a second, guys. I love you, I love you. No, 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 no. So yes, space sector, they are saying that, it's like Indian government, they want ISRO to do bulk of the work, but we have allowed private sector, but it's only on paper. Like you have these three organizations. Earlier you had only ISRO, then you created InSpace and NSIL, right? So what is ISRO doing? Research, and research is the work. In space, we have allowed private sector in space arena now. Who will come, who will not, that is done by InSpace. So they are doing regulation. NSIL, commercialization, selling. You are good in a particular stuff, that is fine, but you have to sell yourself to the world. You have to tell what you are good at. I was seeing one very important allegory or whatever, that there is a bus which is, costing you 10 rupees. There's another bus, 50 rupees they're costing you. It's an AC bus, every facility. Most of the people will go to rupees 10 rupee bus because it's cheaper, right? If a 50 rupee bus has to incur there and they have to sell their tickets more, they have to tell people what they are getting, movies they are getting, AC they are getting, water they are getting, or you are also giving tea and coffee. People have to understand why we should buy, or why should we should buy your ticket. Same way, commercialization, we have to sponsor, like we have to tell the world what ISRO is good at. So this is done by NSIL, PSU company, market services to customer. Remember these words. So we have InSpace, which is regulating, which is seeing which private sector can do what work. But it's all on paper. So many things has to happen in space sector. That's what this article is talking about. So India's space sector, we have increased the budget and all. 2026 budget is 5.3% higher than pre-pandemic peak. So money is allocated, but still focused on ISRO more. We are not allowing private sector to develop much. PLI scheme, we have introduced it in 2020, production linked incentive scheme. I think I have talked about it in economy 50 most important current affairs as well. So we need PLI for space components. We need GST rationalization for satellite launches. What does it mean? Sometimes on input products, what happens? There are certain inputs which are used by these companies for making stuff. So they are paying taxes, but they cannot claim refunds because on the final products there is no GST. So that is a hidden tax, right? So we remove those taxes on space related components. Industry demands a zero rated GST regime. They also want critical infrastructure tag. Give space infrastructure a critical infrastructure tag. What will happen when you are doing that? Just give me a second, guys. Okay, so yeah, if you give space sector critical infrastructure tag, then in that scenario they will get cheaper loans. So all these things had to be done. In space meant to promote private participation, but they should have received 1000 crore plus. They are not receiving that money. Basically this article is saying that we are still more focused on how ISRO can do better. If you're allowing private sector in space component arena, give them some leeway, give them critical infrastructure tag, make GST components, like make GST zero on input products. Death valley problem for startup. Now these are phrases which you have to understand. What is the concept of death valley? It takes time. Like even anything, you start any entrepreneurship, everything, so you will not start generating revenue instantaneously. So there's a gap between R&D investment and the first revenue. Most of the startups, space startups, they die during that period. So government can give them 5-year tax holiday, that for 5 years will not tax you. R&D tax credit, let's say if you have invested 1 lakh crore or 1000 crore in R&D, so we will deduct it from your tax later on. All these things has to be done, which is not done. And this is leading to brain drain. People are going, they're joining NASA and all. So venture capital fund, government created 1000 crore fund that we will support different private players. We will buy stakes in them. And but again, that is good, but it is not solving the GST problem on input means things we have seen, like space sector input materials. GST is there. Expensive infrastructure financing, critical status is needed for space sector. That's what this article is saying. Give them the status of critical infrastructure so that they can get loan at a cheaper model. So right now we have allowed private sector on paper, but in reality we are still too much dependent on ISRO. So legal liberalization has happened, but financial reforms lag behind. That's what this article is talking about. Do remember the difference between ISRO, InSpace, and NSIL, guys. So you see ISRO, InSpace, and NSIL. What is their primary role? ISRO research. So, oh, you got the answer. ISRO research, InSpace regulation of private sector, and NSIL commercialization. So A is the answer. Really good. MCQ 12, Death Valley, period between heavy R&D investment and generation of first revenue. MCQ 13, why have industry bodies demanded GST rationalization for the space sector? Company pay GST on inputs but cannot claim refunds. Very good. Final space services may be GST exempt. Very good. So the answer is C, 1, 2, and 3. It reduces hidden manufacturing cost. Consider the following fiscal measures: 5-year tax holidays. All of these things are needed. So the answer is D, 1, 2, and 3. India's movement to restoring balance to copyright. Pranesh Prakash, he has written this article on copyright. So we have talked about copyrights, patent, trademarks and all in the previous 50 most important current affairs of science and tech. So that is fine. What we have to talk about here is something else. We have to solve one UPSC PYQ. So copyright is leading to, there is a phenomena which is happening, copyright maximalism. You cannot use this, you cannot use that because it is copyright product. That can hamper innovation in the AI arena, because AI, what they do something called as mining. They extract information and then they give you a new set of information. For that they have to even sometimes access copyright materials, right? But they cannot do that Everywhere copyright is there. Earlier, public domain was the default. Everything was there in the public domain. Now, long monopolies are. Visually impaired person, he could not buy a DAISY accessible book, which is for visually impaired person, because it was copyrighted. Then came Marrakesh Treaty in 2010s, Marrakesh, Morocco, which enabled people who are visually impaired to access these things, these materials, and so that copyright restrictions do not hamper them from accessing these materials. Do remember, Marrakesh Treaty is associated with what? Visually impaired persons, so that they can access these books, etc. So copyright maximalism is what? Copyright is expanding here, there, everywhere, and it's obstructing access to knowledge. That is copyright maximalism. Statute of any 14-year limited monopoly in India. You have Copyright Act 1957. Previously, in different previous parts, first and second, we have discussed the difference between copyright, patent, trademark, and GI tag. Revise it. So in India, it lasts for author's lifetime in 70 years. The problem here is, copyright laws makes copying illegal, because AI, they require mining, they require crawling of data, copying data. Philippines, Sri Lanka, they allow fair use. India, limited exceptions. So lack of broader exceptions create legal uncertainty. More and more cases can be filed against, let's say, ChatGPT, Gemini, that you are using my data. So global shift towards text and data mining exemption. Japan, Singapore, they allow that. Yes, if AI is using these data to extract more information, it should be allowed. Case should not be filed against them. In India, we don't have such things, so we need it. Copyright law may hinder technological innovation. We should not allow that to happen. There has to be something called a safe harbor protection. So intermediary safe harbor protection means, even currently YouTube, etc., they have the safe harbor protection. I am posting a video on YouTube, so if there is some issue with my video, YouTube is not liable for it. I will be liable for it, right? So that is safe harbor protection to intermediaries, but they have to fulfill certain conditions of government. So these things should happen. Author guilds oppose Kindle's read aloud features, because they feel like it is violating their copyright. So sometimes there is just too much restrictions because of copyright. And this is an intangible kind of an investment. You have to understand, tangible is what? Your inventories and all. So all these things are really important. Hope you understood a basic rationale. Let's solve some questions so that you can understand things in a much better manner. Copyright maximalism, expansion of copyright protection to restrict access and use of knowledge. Which of the following statement best reflects the purpose of safe harbor protection? To shield intermediaries from liability for user-generated content if due diligence is followed. PYQ, let's see this. PYQ, consider the investment in the following assets. How many are intangible? Tangible, which you can touch. Is there a touch me, touch me, touch me? In our time, you people were not born, there was an actress, Katrina Kaif. She used to sing this song. Touch me, touch me, touch me. Guys, please touch me, touch me. What is touch me? So intellectual problem, like you see, infantry, it is tangible. You can touch it. So infantry is wrong. All four cannot be there. Brand recognition, my brand. So again, you cannot touch my brand, right? You cannot touch intellectual property and all. Mailing list. So all 1, 3, and 4, they're intangible. So the answer is C, only 3. Whoa, really good. Next article, 31st most important article for science and tech. ISRO should choose transparency to reinforce public confidence. So these days, there are so many failures which are happening, and that's fine. You fail only when you try. If you don't try, you get success, neither you fail. So that is not the problem, failure or no failure and blah blah blah. The problem is, transparency. ISRO should, yes, we know there are certain things which cannot be disclosed in public. We can understand that, and that's totally fine. But then there are other issues also. What we are discussing, let's talk about it one by one. Hello everyone. Please don't drink these things, guys. I tell you people again and again, why don't you people listen to me? These are not good things. This, what is this? Pepsi and all. Stop drinking this. Okay, let's continue, guys. Chepukumaris, Sapebaris. Because you people are Chepukumaris and you people are awesome, better than everybody else. From now onwards, all of you are known as Chepukumaris. So we are talking about 31st article, published on 27th February. ISRO should choose transparency, that's fine. But here we have to talk about the major aspect here is difference between PSLV and GSLV and PYQ. Based on that, I think everything is fine. So let's go there. So what happened? Why we are talking about this article, Chepandikumaris? Because ISRO, there was an NVA-02 satellite, NAVIC, which was earlier known as IRNSS, Indian Regional Navigational Satellite System. Our regional navigation system, like US has GPS, then there is GLONASS and all. of different countries. So we want, and those are global navigation system. They're covering the whole world. We want a regional navigation system, IRNSS Navig, and that will provide SPS, standard positioning services, and restricted services for military around Indian like India, and 1500 kilometer around that region, around Indian region. So it's regional, and our NVS0, and we are replacing those satellites. Some of them are not working because of the atomic clock issue and all. So this NVS is related to Navig satellite that failed. They failed to reach the intended orbit. It's fine. Signal and immediate technical cause was given, this loose or failed electrical connectors. It's fine, and ISRO stated that whatever issues were there, we rectified it, and that helped us in placing GSAT-7R, which is a communication satellite, into orbit. So great, but still they were not very forthcoming. That's what this article is saying. We know these are sensitive information, and only some can be revealed in the public arena, but still has to be some amount of transparency which has to be there. And it's not like ISRO was always this guarded. They have become more guarded after two polar satellite launch vehicle failures in January and May 2025. PSLV, our workhorse, they did not used to fail earlier. Earlier, GSLV used to fail, geosynchronous satellite launch vehicle, which are placed in geostationary orbit, where satellite appears stationary all the time. Polar satellite launch vehicle, here you are putting satellites generally in sun synchronous orbits. So remember these small facts. You don't have to do PhD here on. It's fine, but they should not become too insular. That's what this article is saying. What is important here? Let's focus. PSLV versus GSLV. PSLV 4-stage. They have this, engine and all. Solid, liquid, solid, liquid. Solid, liquid, solid, liquid, solid, liquid, solid, liquid. And 3 stages GSLV: solid, liquid, cryogenic, which can work at low temperature. They give higher thrust in the vacuum. So PSLV, sun synchronous orbit. GSLV, geo transfer orbit, geosynchronous orbit, where satellites appear stationary. And this GSLV you used to place heavier satellites and all. It was extremely reliable, this PSLV. It is our workhorse, and that's why it's surprising why and how PSLVs are failing. That is the thing which is surprising us. So let's see things settle down. Let's solve some questions. MCQ 18, PSLV and GSLV launch vehicle. PSLV uses only solid propellant. Wrong. Solid, liquid, solid, liquid. So first is wrong. So you get the answer, B2 and 3. Whenever you see these questions, pause me and then try to solve it. PYQ 19, UPSC 2018. PSLV launch satellites useful for so now this is PYQ. Satellite launched by PSLV appears to remain. Now let's say, see the third one. It is a 4-stage launch vehicle. No, it's a 3-stage. Solid, liquid, cryogenic. 4 stages PSLV, solid, liquid, solid, liquid. So third is wrong. Now you're left with A and B. Check the second one. PSLV appears permanently fixed. No, that is a property of geostationary orbit, where GSLV puts satellites, not PSLV. PSLV puts satellites in sun synchronous orbit, so they don't appear permanently fixed. So second is wrong, and the answer is A. One only. Well, guys. MCQ 20. Consider the following statement about ISRO. Operates under Department of Space. Yes. Now this will use your static knowledge. Founded under the leadership, headquarters is in Bangalore. Bengaluru. Second is wrong. Eliminate second. First and third are correct. A1 and 3 only. Very good. Cryogenic rocket engines are preferred in upper stages because they provide higher efficiency and thrust in vacuum. Efficiency. 32nd article, 10th December 2025. Google quantum echoes bring Q-Day closer. What is the basic meaning of these technical terms? Shape on these terms, guys. Shape on these terms. Guys, please grow up, okay? Shape on these terms. What is shape on these terms? So, what is happening? Let's first of all try to understand things in an easier manner, and then we'll talk about the tricky things. So, what is the basic rationale? So, Google is using this quantum processor. Let's go there. So, when you people will grow enough and you become 18 plus, or maybe if you do BTech in computer science, you will read something called as, cryptography, inscription, decryption. We encrypt data. And currently we have classical computers, like computers which works on classical physics model. You have bit system, 0 or 1. So either a bit can be 0 or 1. But if you follow quantum physics, quantum computing, so then they have this qubit system where it can be 0 and 1 at the same time, like light. It can be a particle and wave at the same time. So it is saying that, like this article is saying that there will be a period sooner rather than later when these quantum computers will be able to break our current inscription and decryption model, which we are using, RSA model. So Google used a 65 qubit. Now qubit is for quantum computers, where a bit will be 0 and 1 at the same time. Remember these terms. Willow superconducting processor, they measure how quantum information spreads and refocuses. This milestone is called quantum echoes, how the data is going back and forth. Q day is the day when a quantum computer will break our current inscription system, RSA encryption system. And what is happening right now is people are stealing data, encrypted data, because they feel like later on quantum computer will become powerful enough to break these datas, break open these datas, decrypt these data. So that is known as harvest now, decrypt later. Collect the information now. We will decrypt in the future when the quantum computers become powerful enough. Government are preparing, because if they, like, these hackers, they're able to break these encrypting, or encryption. Oh my God, tongue twister. They may be able to access our bank account and all, guys. So we have to prepare for this risk, and that is called the Q day, when the quantum computer will be able to break these inscription, the current inscription, secure inscription. And now world is preparing for it. This is NIST, Standard and Technology Institute of US, which is preparing quantum resistant algorithms. Even quantum computer cannot break those algorithms and encryption. Crystals Kuber and crystals dilithium. So they can ask you, crystal Kuber and dilithium associated with what? Kuber, a Kyber? That's not Kuber, it's Kyber. Kuber is, it was one of my, I used to work in sleepy classes. There was Kuber sir, awesome guy. So Kyber, this is inscription, and this is digital signature, dilithium. Digital signature you may have seen. You also may have signed some of your documents like this. So that is digital signature, dilithium and all. So we are preparing for that particular day when quantum computer can break our inscription. How hard? RSA 2048, that is the current inscription, difficult to break. It is difficult. We are doing involving prime numbers, where one in itself is the factor. Hope you know these things. Classical computer will take billions of years to break them. Expert estimates RSA 2048 requires millions of qubits, possibly 5 to 8 years to build such machines. And we currently have very few qubits. So it's a long way away, this Q day, when quantum computers can break our current inscription, but still we are preparing for it. Better safe than sorry. 2019 estimates 20 million physical qubits, 8-hour computation will be needed. Today we only have few hundred qubits. We need 20 million qubits. So it's a long way away. But RBI, etc., they're urging companies to shift to quantum safe cryptography before the decade ends, because you don't know. Things, technology, advancement happen at a very they happen at a very high pace. So you never know how, maybe Q day will arrive sooner than rather than later. So quantum ecos does not make Q day closer. It demonstrates scientific maturity. Hope you understood the basic rationale of Q day. And this whole 64 qubit quantum processor, they are studying quantum information. This is called as quantum ecos. Q day, future day, when the quantum computers will be able to break today's inscription. It requires a millions of logical qubits. We currently have hundreds of qubits, so it's a long way away. Hundreds, so again, you can see all these things, many years away. But how many years away, you can never say that. Google's new experiment does not make Q day closure. It only shows progress in understanding quantum physics. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Quantum physics, classical physics. Quantum physics, how things are means working at a microscopic level, electron level. Classical physics, macroscopic level. So remember these terms. Q day refers to the day quantum computer breaks major public key inscription B. MCQ 23, harvest now, decrypt later refers to storing encrypted data today to decrypt after Q day. Like, share, subscribe, guys, spread the word. If I'm adding to your knowledge base, you can donate at this number. If you need this PDF, you can send me a message at this same number. Next article, 33rd article, 23rd December 2025. NASA loses touch with Maven craft, which reached Mars just before Mangu. What is Mangu? Mangalyaan. Whoa, guys. No, Baba. No, see, we sent Mangalyaan to Mars, but it was a basic technology demonstrator mission. It's not like we were trying to achieve something awesome. We were just trying to show the world that we can do it. You made a movie, let's say Gravity and all, which required so much money. In a fraction of that money, we sent Mangalyaan to Mars, but it was not like this Maven. This is a very advanced mission. It was just seeing how Mars is losing their atmosphere to space. That's what they were studying. So this NASA has lost contact with Mars. Now, first of all, let's do a comparative analysis of Maven and Mangalyaan. So Mars, this, you see this, NASA, Maven, ISRO India. Launch date November 18, Maven. Mangalyaan, 13 days before Maven. We have to do a comparative analysis, important. So, and it arrived 2 days before Mangalyaan. It studies Mars upper atmosphere, how they're losing their upper atmosphere, which is escaping into space. Mangalyaan was just a technology demonstrator that we are able to reach Mangalyaan or Mars. And again, each scientific instrument, blah, blah, blah. See the cost. Maven, $671 million. India's Mangalyaan, $74 million. It ended in 2022, Mangalyaan, and Maven was designed for 2 years, worked for 10 years. So these are some facts which you have to keep in mind. Difference between Maven and Mangalyaan. Mangalyaan is just a technology demonstrator, Mars orbiter mission, technology test. Maven is a major science mission because they are studying how Mars atmosphere is escaping into space for over 10 years. And they have a weak atmosphere, and that's why life is sometimes, you may feel like life is somewhat difficult on Mars. So yeah, Maven stopped responding, and again you can see all these things. So important thing, or basic important thing, the important thing in this article is comparative analysis of Maven and Mangalyaan Mars orbiter mission. Primary objective of NASA's Maven mission is to study how Mars atmosphere is escaping into space. Really good. 34th article. Why awareness about folic acid, vitamin B9, if I'm not wrong, is the key to prevent spina bifida. UPSC has already asked questions on microcephaly, guys. Microcephaly, which happens because of Zika virus, where kids, they have smaller head and all. So what is spina bifida? Spina bifida is a birth defect of spinal cord. You can see here it can impact the moving capabilities of this child. Basically, if you give folic acid supplements and all in food fortification, it prevents these kind of open defect. It does not impact the intelligence of this kid, but it can impact his moving capacity in different ways. Spina bifida. So remember the spina bifida, folic acid supplementation. World over, they're doing it. In India, a 7-month-old child from Jharkhand born with paralysis of the lower limbs and all, and the birth defect was spina bifida, and it is a birth defect of the spinal cord. Generally happens during the first trimester, first 3 months of the mother's pregnancy. And most common birth defect in India. 25,000 children born with spina bifida every year. And if you just do one thing, folic acid fortification, vitamin B9, that is folic acid, and B12 also, it plays a crucial role in removing these birth defects. Extent of disability, paralysis range from mild weakness to complete paralysis below the hips. Many children become wheelchair dependent. But intellectually, they have normal intelligence. They can lead independent and productive lives. It's just that it can impact them physically. Severe healthcare access gap, 75% of affected children lack access to proper medical care. Something has to be done. We are currently in Amrit Kal. We love Modi sir so much. He's so intelligent, entire political science guy. He also has to study these things. Spina bifida can be largely prevented by folic acid intake, B9. Since 1991, study has shown 70% cases can be prevented. Lancet and all. India has failed to implement awareness prevention program. You see this? 68 countries have mandated folic acid, B9, food fortification, and reduced spina bifida prevalence to 1 per thousand, below 1 per thousand. In India, it is 4 per thousand. So something has to be done. Public education is needed for this particular topic. Salt and tea, if you do fortification folic acid, it can prevent. Tea, salt, everybody consumes it, right? So we have to focus on this B9 folic acid fortification. Do remember, they can ask you folic acid is vitamin B1, no, B9. Every 1 rupee spent on prevention can save over 100 rupees. So we need an awareness campaign. We need universal awareness among women about folic acid. MCQ 25 with reference to spina bifida, neural tube defect affecting spinal cord, correct. Intellectual disability, no. Intellectually they are fine. So second is wrong. Eliminate second, you will get the answer A1 and 3. Develops during first trimester. Many countries have mandated folic acid food fortification, correct. Food fortification have reduced, yes, 1 per thousand, correct. India has implemented, no, India has not. India has to now. A. 35th article. Why did US drop a core radiation safety rule? And again, there are some terms here which we have to understand, guys, because you people are really good boys or really good girls. Chipukumari, sappi bhauris. Guys, please grow up, okay? So what is the, nuclear safety radiation rules? There are certain rules. What are those rules? One is LNT model, other is Alara principle, LNT, any amount of radiation can be harmful. Think of it like cigarette. Even one cigarette is harmful, right? The more you drink or smoke, the more, the worse you will be, right? So that is Alara model. Alara, and like LNT model rather. And Alara is saying keep radiation exposure as low as reasonably possible. Now government, what US has done is they have done away with this Alara principle. They are focusing only on LNT. Any amount of radiation can be harmful. And now people who are working in these, radiation practices, etc., they're like, no, no, no. US is doing away with this because if you see Alara, keep radiation as low as possible, as low as possible. And if you remove it, you are saying that no, 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 we will not keep radiation as low as possible. LNT is saying no level of radiation is completely safe. Yes, it's fine, you're adopting LNT, but you should also adopt Alara. You should keep radiation as low as possible. US has done away with Alara. Alara focuses on reducing unnecessary exposure. I will give you one example. Let's say X-ray. X-ray has so much utility, but X-ray is also harmful to a certain extent if you are going through X-ray for a longer period of time. But if we reduce X-ray as low as possible, or then we have to spend a lot of money on other things, safety procedure and all. So maybe government US does not want to do that. LNT model says no level of radiation is completely safe, risk increases with more exposure. LRA focuses on reducing unnecessary exposure. US says that reform will help nuclear innovation. We will keep radiation exposure because we have to do innovation. But critics are like, if you do not keep radiation as low as possible, then it will weaken worker safety. And it's not even like, even let's say you are not weakening worker safety, the impression which it is sending to people that you have done away with Alara is, they will be like, even if you are doing everything correct, sometimes it's more about posturing. And here the posturing of US is wrong according to this article. It can lead to loss of public trust, political influence in science. Anyway, Trump era is very infamous for not believing in environmental, global warming, this and that. There is another theory. So we have seen LNT model, we have seen Alara model, and then there is certain third model which is known as hormesis, which is saying that low radiation may be harmless or beneficial. It is like, let's say, exercise. If you do a little bit of exercise based on your physical capability, it will be good for your body strength in the longer run. But if you do it too much, it will be bad. Same way they are comparing radiations, like it may be harmless or beneficial, but we don't have enough evidence to support hormesis. So future change may consider setting a very low dose level below which regulation is not required. So maybe article is saying that US should not have removed Alara. It may, even if they're not reducing the standards, it will create a bad impression or sending a bad impression to the people, so to say. Linear LNT model suggests ionizing radiation is harmless. No, 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 that is not. They are saying any exposure is harmful. Think about cigarette. Risk increases proportionally with dose. Correct. 2 and 3. C. 28. Alara principle in radiation protection implies that radiation exposure should be reduced as much as reasonably achievable. US has done away with Alara. Concept of radiation hormesis suggests low radiation may have beneficial or harmless effect. Think about exercise. We are just doing an analogy here. Next, 36th article, 29th December 2025. What are rare earth elements? You keep on hearing about this. China is very good in processing and all. Are they actually rare Chepukumaris or are they Chepandis Cheputulsuledu Kadu, guys? What is Chepandis Cheputulsuledu Kadu? So, rare earth elements. They are not exactly rare, but the way we are, they are there in environment, but the way of extracting them, processing them, let's say you have ores, from that ores you extract these metals and all. So that process is very expensive and that's why they are rare. So this lanthanide series, you see 57 to 71, and then the scandium and yttrium 2139, they have similar properties to this lanthanide series. They are rare earth elements. Not exactly rare, they're not truly rare, but they're hard to find in concentrated form, difficult to separate. And China is awesome in that processing and refining capability. Extremely important for magnets, electronics, green energy devices, and that's why US has come up with packed silica and all. They want these rare earth minerals and critical minerals. They don't want to be dependent on China. Mining rare earth can cause environmental problems. Processing is complicated. We need China right now. China countries now focus more on building refining and magnet making capacity. So countries want to reduce their reliance on China, and that's why a new alternative is emerging in the global or new world order, that is packed silica led by US. India is also a part of it. Up until now, let's see what happens later. In the periodic period, lanthanides are generally shown, I've shown you, as a separate row below the main table. You see, separate row below the main table. Whenever you see these questions, you pause me and then you try to solve it. Scandium and yttrium are included in rare earth element because they occur with lanthanides in nature, show similar chemical properties, that's why. What is it? Exominer plus plus planet spotter. So using AI, we are trying to spot exoplanets. Exoplanets means planets which are orbiting the star other than sun, right? Outside our solar system. So there are terms, guys, which we have to understand here. Like there is a Hubble Space Telescope, which was there in 1990, which we are studying and observing our galaxies and exoplanets. Revealed thousands of galaxies. Do remember the chronology, Hubble. Then you have Kepler, and then now you have TESS, Kepler Space Telescope 2009. And again, searching for exoplanets. And there is a property which they use, transit method. Transit method means, so let's say there is a sun, and let's say some planet passed through it. So there will be a dip in the brightness of that star. And when a planet passed in front of it, via that they were discovering exoplanets. 2,600 plus confirmed exoplanets by Kepler. Remember, Hubble, Kepler, TESS, transiting exoplanet survey satellite. Which came first? The chronology part. So again, they suffered reaction failures 2013, retired in 2018, and you see the chronology, launched in 2009, failed in or retired in 2018. Same year, NASA launched TESS, Transiting Exoplanet Survey Satellite. Same property, same thing. They are also discovering exoplanets, planets orbiting stars other than solar system or sun, to find Earth size and super Earth exoplanets. And again, they're using the transiting method, the dip in the star's brightness. Remember these transit method and all. And now we're using AI models. Earlier we had ExoMiner, and now we have ExoMiner plus plus. So using AI, we are trying to extract these data which we are getting from tests and all. Later on in 2020s, when the test goes out of and it is retired, in 2020s we'll have Nancy Grace Roman Space Telescope. So you can understand the chronology here: Hubble, Kepler, Tess, and then Nancy Grace. Nancy, I love you na upiria dipoina, as Allu Arjun would say. So ExoMiner plus plus is a deep learning artificial, AI model. Earlier you had ExoMiner, now you have a subsequent model of ExoMiner plus plus. Analyze data from TESS, which has started from 2018. Model shows studies light curve again, transit system. Light bar means stars brightness. Oh my god, star's brightness changes over time when a planet passes in front of it, transit. A major challenge is distinguishing. So sometimes even other things can pass through star, sun, maybe asteroid, comet, meteoroids. How will you distinguish between a planet and those objects? So that is the challenge, distinguishing real planetary signals from false positive. Maybe that is one of the reasons why Pluto was earlier considered a planet, now it is not. Maybe they realize that this is just like a planet-like signal. It is not exactly a planet. Unlike many black box AI systems, so there are some black box AI systems where they will give you some data result, but they will not tell you the process how they got that result. ExoMiner plus plus is not a black box. It will tell you. It will tell you why a signal is classified as a planet. It will tell you the whole process. So it's much more transparent than a black box AI system. Cool, cool, cool. You can read all these things. And ExoMiner, more powerful train. Again, you can read all. We have discussed this. What is important here? What are these ExoMiners? They are observing. They're using AI-based system which are observing data from TESS, Hubble, Kepler, TESS, and now Nancy Grace. Chronological order. What is transit method? All these things are really important. What is an exoplanet? So, with reference to exoplanet, planets that orbit stars outside our solar system first is correct. Transit method detects exoplanet by observing a dip in stellar brightness, correct? Most exoplanets discover, so no, it can be sun-like star, it can be different stars, so third is wrong, A. Why is explainable AI preferred over black box AI? Because explainable AI tells you the whole process, provides transparency and reasoning behind decisions. Black box AI will only tell you the result. How it happened, why it happened, no. ExoMiner plus plus are associated with identification of exoplanets using AI. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Single genome editing strategy can help treat multiple disorders. So there is one CRISPR-Cas9 gene editing technology, which UPSC has already asked a question on. In this article, we'll read about another gene editing technology, which is known as PERT. P-E-R-T. Oh my, what have I written? Gene editing. PERT. I love you na. Upiria dipoina. That is no. So first of all, let's focus on simple terms, guys. Nonsense mutation. Anything else which we have to focus on? No. So what is nonsense mutation? You have DNA, DNA. DNA contains instructions to make proteins, everything, how we look, how we act, these things are happening because of DNA, Chipukumaris. So now DNA has given instructions to make proteins. Instructions read in 3 letters called codons. Some codon signals stop when the protein is being made, tell cells to finish making protein. But sometimes a false, codon can also be nonsense mutation. Mutation is change in DNA. We have discussed this in the previous topics today only. Normal codon changes into stop codon too early. So that means even if the whole protein is not built, but because of nonsense mutation, now you will stop making protein. This causes the protein to be cut short and non-functional. The incomplete protein cannot do its job. This can lead to serious genetic diseases, and these kind of diseases are known as like Betten, Tay-Sachs, and Niemann-Pick. So where you have faulty protein, incomplete protein, and these are nonsense mutation. So this PERT gene editing technology, primary editing mediated read through a premature termination codons, they will tell the codons that you keep going, the PERT will allow cells to ignore the faulty stop signal and complete the protein. Why? They will use a tRNA gene So, which will act as a suppressor, that no, this is a premature stop codon, stop signal, don't listen to it, complete making protein. Many genetic diseases happen because of this nonsense mutation, hope you understood, which is creating a premature stop signal in DNA and creating incomplete protein, protein production early, causing missing of faulty proteins. 25% of genetic disorder caused by such nonsense mutation, causing diseases like Batten, Tay-Sachs and Niemann Pick. Treatment did not disturb normal protein production, blah blah blah. Challenges remain: safe delivery, long-term effects. So, if successful in humans, this approach could treat many genetic diseases. We have seen it in mice. The method restored some enzyme activity and improved disease symptoms. So, let's see how this whole PERT method works for humans and all. PERT, PERT. Let's solve some questions so that you can understand what you have to learn, what you don't. Nonsense mutation results in premature termination of protein synthesis. PERT, primary editing mediated read through of premature termination codons, aims to bypass premature stop codons to restore protein production. Really good. So that's it from me, guys. There's one last part remaining for science and tech. Like and subscribe, spread the word. You are your own competition. You just try to be better than what you were yesterday. And if I'm adding to your knowledge base, you can donate at this number. And if you want this PDF, you can send me a message at the same number, guys. Take care, be blessed. I will see you soon. Hello everyone, Chapandi Kumaris, Sappe Boris. So yeah, Chapandi Chapatulsule Dukhadu, guys. So again, what is this jibber jabber? Nothing. Today what we have to do? Oh my god, Science and Tech Part 4, Khatam the end, as our Honorable MP sir, I was saying PM sir, Rahul Gandhi sir is not yet PM, right? Guys, let's not be political, okay? Chipukumaris, Chipandis Haris. Let's grow up. Science and Tech Part 4, Khatam the end. Last part of Science and Tech. You can revise the previous 3 parts. Really, really good. These are all standalone videos. Everything is fine. Chipandi Kumaris. Let's, without wasting any time, let's start the discussion. So we have done 38 out of 50. We have done 38 important articles in the previous 3 parts. We have to do the remaining 12. My name is Shubham Saga. You can connect with me on LinkedIn and become a really good boy or really good girl. Currently you are good boy or good girl. Then what else you have to do? You can join this Telegram channel, Fun Study with Shubh, where I share, Hindu analysis PDF. I do it Monday to Saturday, 9 a.m. I try to do it at 9 a.m. Sometimes I become late. So yeah, but I share these Hindu analysis PDF here in this Telegram channel. Really good. So 39th article, 19th March 2026, Large Hadron Collider discovers a new particle. So what is the benefit of reading these structured PDF is you will see similar articles clubbed together. Like we are talking about Large Hadron Collider. Let's say we are talking about quark here. So we'll talk lepton also at the same time. You will understand these terms. What are quarks? What are baryons? What are leptons? And although they are, they were published in Hindu 1 month apart, but we will read them together. That's how we will remember stuff. So Large Hadron Collider, located at the border of 2 countries. Where is the border? What is the border? France-Switzerland border. And inside this, like Large Hadron Collider, this is a particle accelerator, which is in CERN, world's largest particle physics laboratory. There are so many other particle accelerator. LHC is very famous, world largest and most powerful. So here they smash protons and all at the speed of light. And then they have discovered new particle called as XICC plus. So before understanding XICC plus, let's understand some basic fundas, guys. What are those basic fundas? Quark. Quark is a fundamental particle. Fundamental means it can be broken down further. Like in our time, you people were not born. There was a movie called Raj. There was an actress. She was saying that मैं टूट के बिखर जाना चाहती हूँ. That means I want to get broken down further. That cannot happen with the case in the case of quark. It cannot be broken down further because it's a fundamental particle. Oh my god! It's of 6 different flavors: mango, strawberry, vanilla. So up, down, charm, strange, top and bottom. Proton and neutron, they are made up of these quarks. So, baryon is a type of subatomic particle made up of 3 quarks. So you can understand this proton, it is made up of 2 up quark and 1 down quark. So made up of different flavors of quark. Neutron, 1 up quark and 2 down quark. Baryon is what? Which contains 3 quarks. These 3 quarks can be any permutation and combination. It can be 1 up, 1 down, 1 charm, 1 down, 1 charm, 1 strange, 1 charm, 1 strange, 1 top. You can do the permutation and combination here. Hope you are understanding. Quark, they are the fundamental particles. They cannot be broken down further. Unlike the actress of Raj who was saying something, and they are of 6 flavors: up, down, charm, strange, top, bottom. And baryon is made up of 3 quarks, which can be different permutation and combination. Proton and neutrons are types of baryons. You can see here 2 up, 1 down proton, 1 neutron is 1 up, 2 down. Similarly, now they have found another baryon, XICC. So XICC means it will be made up of 3 quarks. But these 3 quarks, and it's a baryon, these 3 quarks are 2 charm quark and 1 down quark. So there is no up quark here. So hope you are understanding. They have discovered another particle which is XICC plus plus. They have done it by smashing protons, blah blah blah. It will help us in understanding universe, this and that. That's fine. What is important here is what is quark. What are different flavors of quark? Is like, what is a baryon made up of 3 quarks? Is proton a baryon? Yes. Is neutron a baryon? Yes. Is XICC plus plus a baryon? Yes. So remember these things, go through it again, you will understand each and everything. Let's solve some questions so that we can remember stuff in a much better manner. Which of the following correctly describes a proton? Proton is a baryon composed of 2 up quarks and 1 down quark. Cheapo Kumaris, guys, grow up. With reference to Large Hadron Collider, accelerate particles to near the speed of light. Really correct, not only correct, really correct. Not correct, collect. It located entirely in Switzerland. No, France-Switzerland border. So second is wrong. We are left with A and B. Used to study fundamental particles. Really correct. So the answer is Cheapo Kumaris. That means B. Next, similar kind of articles. Physics has not figured out why matter comes in flavors. What they are talking about here is, here they will talk about something other. We have just seen proton and neutrons. They are types of quark. Electron is a type of lepton. Again, lepton is a fundamental particle. That means you cannot break it down further. Unlike what the actress in Raj was saying. Shift. Guys, please, no stupid jokes, okay? So leptons. So we have just seen quark, proton, neutrons, types of quarks. Lepton, electron is a type of lepton. Now, electron is one thing. Then you have something called as muon, which is like same as electron, but it is 200 times heavier. Tau, same type, negative charge and all, much heavier than muon. Why these kind of things exist? Why they exist in 3 flavors? That's what this article is saying. Why you have similar things but bigger mass? Hope you're understanding. Earlier we were talking about the flavors of quark. Here we are talking about the flavor puzzle. Why are there 3 generations? Why we have 3 generations of electron, much heavier electron, much heavier electron, muon, tau? And why such huge difference in masses? Currently what is happening in standard model, we just note down what is the mass of electron, what is the mass of muon, how heavier it is, how tau is heavier, but we don't know why it is the way it is, why matter dominates over antimatter. So you have proton, you have the opposite of proton, antiproton. You have electron, you have the opposite of electron, and like positron and all. Why you have it? Why matter dominates over antimatter? Why we have these kind of things, 3 generation of electrons of different masses, and what is determining these masses? If we understand these things, we will understand a lot about universe. What is important here? That these electron, muon, tau, what they are? They are leptons. Proton and neutrons, what they are? They are quarks. 3 quarks, there are quarks can be of 6 flavors. 3 quarks makes baryons. So proton and neutrons are also baryons because they are made up of 3 quarks. XICC particle is also a baryon. Which of the following is not a lepton? Up quark, it's a quark. Electron, muon and tau, they are lepton. Now, if you don't connect these things together, you may find it difficult to understand. Hope you are understanding some part of it. Which of the following statement about leptons are correct? They are fundamental particles, just like quarks. 41st article, 14th March 2026, duty of care. Here they are talking about, vaccinations, COVID vaccinations we took, and there were many people who faced reactions to it. You people were not born in our time. There was a game which used to be played, lawn tennis, and there was a player, wow, Novak Djokovic. He's very anti-vax. He's like, he does not want to take these vaccinations and all. And so what I was saying, yes, because there are reactions to it. There are things which happens when you take these vaccine, so to say. So Supreme Court said that in Rachna Gangu case that government should pay for it. Government should pay for AEFI, adverse events following immunization. We are not saying that government is responsible. We are not saying that Modi sir's big image was there on these vaccine photos, so he is responsible. No. We are not saying that. There is no fault-based liability system. It's a no-fault system. Nobody is at fault. We know there will be some reactions. We cannot, like, vaccines will not work equally on everyone. There can be some death or serious injuries, but government should, like, there was a case of 2 women, the death of 2 women due to vaccine-induced immune thrombotic thrombocytopenia, and in linked to Covishield vaccine, And family's argument was that India lacked a dedicated compensation mechanism, which is there in so many other countries of the world. So government is like, no, no, no. If you have issues, you file case against these vaccine manufacturers. Now, Supreme Court is saying in Rachna Gangu that it's very frivolous. Governments cannot, like, families cannot do that. Civil litigation against manufacturers is impractical, right? And then they gave reference to Jacob Pulial case 2022, where government was like, okay, court was like, yes, emergency vaccines approval has to be given, but there has to be greater transparency. How many people are suffering from, like vaccine induced these kind of adverse events following immunization? Government has to give a clear and transparent data, because this is a reality. If Novak Djokovic, he is skeptic about vaccines and the repercussions of vaccine, there is reason behind it, so to say. So AstraZeneca, they also admitted that some, reactions, some adverse events, they happen. India administered 219 crore vaccinations, 1100 reported deaths following vaccination. US and UK, they have this vaccine injury in, compensation program, so to say. And during COVID, there was also a COVAX mechanism brought together by different entities like WHO, Gavi, and all, which talked, like, the COVAX mechanism was about. This is a basic issue also, that these, like, developed countries, they took data from Africa, poorer LMIC countries, low and middle income countries, including India, and when they made these vaccines, they used it for their own grievances, and many people in LMIC countries, including India, they died. So that does not happen. There is somewhat equitable distribution of these vaccine. For that, COVAX vaccine means mechanism was brought. WHO, Gavi, CEPI, all these were involved here. Prevent vaccine nationalism. Rich countries hoarding vaccines. Even then, even after COVAX, rich countries, they did hoard vaccines, so to say. So hope you're understanding where this article is going and what this article is trying to say and what Supreme Court is trying to say in this Rachna Gangu case. That there is no fault. Government is not at fault. We know some people, there can be some adverse events, but you have to pay them. Fault-based liability system, a person who suffered, he has to prove that someone made a mistake. No fault compensation system. The current system is that, we are not saying that there is somebody at fault, but we are just saying that if there is a reasonable link between vaccine and injury, government should provide compensation. And that's what they are saying. Fault, no fault. There has to be some compensation which has to be given to people. With reference to no fault compensation system, consider the following statement. Claimants are not required to prove negligence by government. Yes, first is correct. Compensation is granted only. No. It's in fault system that criminal liability you have to establish. So second is wrong. If you eliminate second, you will get the answer A, 1 and 3. Commonly used in vaccine injury compensation programs in several countries. A. The case Jacob Pulial versus Union of India dealt with challenges to India's COVID-19 vaccination policy and vaccine approvals. 42nd article, Q dengue. So first, India's first dengue vaccine. Dengue, dengue virus causes it. Aedes aegypti mosquito is associated with it. This Aedes mosquito is also responsible for chikungunya and Zika virus and all. Chikungunya, Zika virus, remember this. Zika virus also caused by sexual transmission, and this Zika virus also leads to microcephaly in small kids. In microcephaly, what happens? Kids, they have smaller head and all. So all these things are happening. So Q dengue, to India's first dengue vaccine. But there are different serotypes of dengue virus. Serotypes means different types of viruses are there. Dengue 1, 2, 3, 4. So this Q dengue will work against, Dengue 1 and 2, but they are less effective against Dengue 3 and 4. So it's not like if I've taken Q dengue, I am prone from, I won't be facing any issues with other types of serotypes. And also it is expensive right now. Better vaccines are being developed. Just remember Q dengue. Reduces severe dengue and hospitalization. It's not a complete solution because you are still, even if you're safe somewhat from Dengue 1 and 2, you can get dengue from Dengue 3 and 4. What is important here? Dengue, viral disease, not bacterial, this and that, caused by Aedes aegypti mosquito. And they can bite you during the day also. Oh my god, 4 serotypes. You can see all these things. And no specific cure. Prevention is the key. Aedes mosquito also cause chikungunya, Zika virus, microcephaly, sexual transmission also can lead to Zika virus. So consider the following statement about dengue, not bacterium, virus, transmitted by Aedes mosquito, correct. So the answer is B2 only. Following statement, diseases dengue, chikungunya, Zika. How many of the above transmitted by Aedes? All 3, C. PYQ 9. Tropical regions, Zika virus disease transmitted by same mosquito that transmits dengue, correct. Sexual transmission is also possible, correct. I have told you all these things, C. 43, 3rd April 2026, Artemis 2. What is at stake for US? It's in news, continuously in news. Earlier, there were supposed to be 3 Artemis mission. Now they have extended it to 4 Artemis mission. and there's a race between US and China. Earlier there was a race between US and USSR during Cold War era. Chepu Kumaris, Chipandis pe Baharis. Guys, what is Chepu Kumari? What is Chepu? So what is this Artemis 2 mission all about? Again, so there is Artemis 1, there's Artemis 2. First of all, let's have a look at these things. So you see Artemis 1 2022 uncrewed test mission. Here basically, oh my god, what did I do here? Basically, the aim is somewhat more. Right now in Artemis 2, they will orbit around the moon, and using the moon's gravity, they will come back to Earth, which they have already done. Artemis 3, it was not supposed to be there. And then there was Artemis 3 where they will go on moon and they will land. Now they have included Artemis 3 where they will do system testing and docking, and Artemis 4, they will do human landing on moon. And after this also, this is not done. This Artemis will become a precursor. After that, they will do human landing on Mars. So you can see how Artemis 2 has been a success, and why they want to do it so fast, because China also is also planning to send humans to moon by 2030. So there is a race which is going on between US and China, who will land on moon first. So Long March 10 rocket tested, Chang'e 7 and 8 missions associated with China. Remember these. Mengzhou spacecraft test, China is doing it. Unlike US, unlike Trump, who does a lot of chest thumping and all those stuff. I have done this, I have done that. That is also done by one another leader, taking credit all the time. China does things very slowly. But again, this is a mission on who will get to moon first, because whoever is going to moon first, they will use the water, ice and all. They will use the resources first. So you can understand the competition which is going on between US and China. Cheapu Kumaris, cheapandis pe bharis. Again, guys, grow up. So yeah. That is what this article is saying. Crew includes. Now here, the aim of this Artemis is not only to go to moon. It's very inclusive in nature. They want to take the first woman, first person of color on the moon. All these things they want to do. And good. SLS space launch system, which will lift a rocket. Orion capsule, where the humans will be there. Human landing system, which will land on the moon, and ground support. You can see how many components are there and how they have to work in synergy if this particular mission has to be a success. Guys, grow up. So there are delays, there are costs, all these things are. There is dependency on SpaceX, Blue Origin, private companies. There is partnership between 50 plus countries. So there are so many things which have to come together if the subsequent Artemis 3 and 4 has to be a success. Let's see who lands first, or who lands human first on the moon right now. China or US? The silent assassin or the explicit guy, or the chest thumping one? Silent assassin is China here. Okay. So which of the following correctly describes Artemis 2 mission? Crewed mission that will orbit the moon without landing. B. Moon's South Pole region is strategically important due to permanently shadowed craters containing water ice. Like, share, and subscribe, guys. Spread the word. If I'm adding to your knowledge base, you can donate at this number. And again, if you want these PDFs, you can send me a message at the same number. Beyond enrichment mapping Iran's potential sprint to a nuclear bomb. You may feel like, sir, this is IR. Why are we keeping it in science and tech? Because here you have to understand certain things related to science and tech. And then we will connect it to India's 3-stage nuclear program. All these things are linked together. So if you are using nuclear energy for civilian purpose, you want to enrich, you want to have uranium-235 around 3-4%. This is the fissile material. Generally, natural uranium, they contain uranium-235 and uranium-238. But uranium-235 is very low, very, very low. You see, natural uranium 0.7% uranium-235 and 99.3% uranium-238, which is not very useful. But for civilian purpose, for generating electricity and all, you need around 3 to 5% of uranium-235, which is known as enrichment. And for nuclear weapons, you need 90% enrichment, uranium-235. And it is said that Iran has reached 60% of enrichment. Obviously, they want to make nuclear weapons. Otherwise, why would they reach this point, 60%? Because civilian purpose use can be done with 3 to 4% enrichment and all. Hope you're understanding where we are going with this. So, but the thing is, how long will it take? There are different data. Some people say 3 to 5 weeks, Iran will make a bomb. They will enrich from 60 to 90. But only after enrichment, the work is not done. Then it has to be converted to metal, weaponized, and put into, where will you put it? If you put, and how will you make it? Different types of bombs are there. Implosion type, where you will need less uranium. Gun type, where you need more uranium. And how will you deliver it? Whether you will use Sahab 3. Now remember this, they can ask you Sahab 3, just like UPSC has asked earlier, THAAD missile, Barak missile. They can ask you Sahab missile is associated with which country? Iran. Or they can deliver it by ship. So there are different data. Some data say they can build a bomb in 3 to 5 weeks. Some say it can take a year. Whatever it is, 60% enrichment confirms one thing, that Iran is not doing this enrichment just for civilian purpose. They want to reach 90%. And hope you understood the basic rationale of these terms, enrichment and all. What does it mean? US and Israel, they have attacked Natanz and Isfahan. So again, remember these things because of pin places in news. They do ask you these things. Where is Natanz? Where is Isfahan? Chipu Kumaris, Chipandispe, Bharis. Guys, grow up. With reference to uranium enrichment, consider the following statement. U-235 is primary isotope used in nuclear weapons. U-238 more efficient, less efficient. Second wrong, gone. Weapon grade uranium requires enrichment up to 90% correct. So the answer is A. Which of the following facility in Iran have been targeted? Natanz and Isfahan. C. Next article, transforming India's nuclear power. See what I have done. I have connected all these nuclear related news at the same place, or I have kept them at the same place so that you don't face any difficulty in understanding things. You have now understood enrichment. Now we'll talk about India's three-stage nuclear program, pressurized heavy water reactor, platinum or plutonium-based fast breeder reactors and all. You will understand each and everything because you people are Chipu Kumaris, Chipandis Piparis. Guys, what is Chipu Kumari? Who is Chipu Kumari? Anything and everything. Jibber jabber, everything is correct. Everything is fine. Cheapu, cheapu, tipu, tipu. So here, this article is talking about how we have brought Shanti Bill. We want to increase private participation because upfront cost of establishing a nuclear power plant is very high. And government does not have that much money, man. They have to go to different countries of the world, so to say. So, yeah, just give me a second. Hello everyone, Chipukumaris, Chipandis Pibaris. So we are talking about India's nuclear power landscape and all. Before that, we have talked about the basic meaning of the term enrichment, which will help us in understanding India's three-stage nuclear program. Cool, cool, cool. Okay. Everything is cool. Let's start the discussion without wasting. Like we were doing discussion, right? I just took a small pause. Chipukumaris, Chipandis Pibaris. Let's continue. Hello everyone. Chipukumaris, Chipukumaris, Chipu Chipu, Chipu. Hello, hello. Okay. So we are talking about Shanti Act, why it was needed, why government is allowing private sector. It's not like government loves Adani or Ambani and they want them everywhere. No, it's not about that. It's not about government wanting private donation or contribution from them. No, it's because these nuclear energy is very, very expensive. It requires a lot of money upfront, and you can see we cannot rely too much on renewables. Although renewable composition is 50%, we have 50% installed capacity from renewables, but they're generating only 22% because of intermittency. You cannot get it at night, there is storage issue. Coal, you see coal is giving us 75% electricity. Nuclear only 8 gigawatt, 3%. We have to increase it because nuclear energy, remember it's not like it's a it's a renewable energy. No, it's a non-renewable energy only because the uranium which you are using, it's in uranium, thorium, plutonium, whatever you're using, it's limited in nature. But we want nuclear because of stable electricity supply. Base load power, the minimum power which we require, it can be given by thermal coal and nuclear more efficiently than renewable is not reliable. Renewable is like an unreliable friend of yours who can give you a lot at some times but maybe not enough at other times. On the other hand, you can rely more on coal and nuclear, although coal is more polluting. Nuclear, the benefit of nuclear is it's best of both worlds. It's not as polluting as coal, and it's not as renewable as like solar and wind, and that's why it is in the category of non-renewable. Hope you're understanding. Renewable expansion phases, storage challenge, this and that. In that regard, Shanti has come. Shanti, I love you. First reactor Tarapur, again you can read all these things. India's nuclear cost among lowest globally. Investment challenge to 890 gigawatt. We want to reach 100 gigawatt nuclear power by 2047. Chipu Kumaris. Currently we are at 8 megawatt. 8 gigawatts rather, sorry. So from 8 gigawatt to 100 gigawatt, 12.5 times we want to expand by 2047 when India will become a Viksit Bharat. Chipu Kumaris, Chipandis Bharis, guys, grow up. So again, for that we require a lot of money, and that's where Amani, Anani and others will step in. So you can see here, the other thing is rather than building big nuclear power plants, we can build small modular reactors, which are cheaper and which are flexible, and where even if an accident happens, that will not be too catastrophic in nature. Industries are showing interest for these small modular reactors. So three things which India can do: indigenization of foreign designs. We can we do our own stuff on these foreign stuff, which, like, let's say if you're taking help from Russia, we can indigenize it. R&D push small modular reactor and expand PHWR. So PHWR is the part of first stage of nuclear program, pressurized heavy water reactor, which is using natural uranium. We have seen enriched uranium where you're increasing the component or the composition of or the percentage of uranium 235. PHWR, they uses natural uranium where you have 99, more than 99% of 238. So it produces energy, and it's good for us because we have to import uranium, and when we import uranium, those reactors which is using imported uranium, they come under IAEA safeguards, International Atomic Energy Safeguards, because they want to see whether we are using imported uranium for nuclear purpose or what. So again, you can understand. So they use natural uranium, but there is a lot of wastage of uranium here, and they produce energy. At the same time, they also produce plutonium. This reaction, this stage one, and then we use this plutonium. In stage two, we use plutonium and the remaining uranium, whatever natural uranium is there, to produce energy. At the same time, we also produce a lot of neutrons. The neutrons which we are producing in stage 2, what we will do in stage 3, we have lots of thorium, monazite sand. So we will react, or we will bombard thorium with neutrons produced during stage 2, and then we will produce uranium 233. And that is an awesome fuel for producing nuclear energy. So you can see how we want to transition. Currently, we have to focus on stage 1 PHWR. Stage 2, it's in the prototype model, this plutonium based fast breeder reactor, and that is also in use. Stage 3 is long way away. So we need clarity on all these things. Santi is transformational. PHWR, I have just told you, first stage pressurized heavy water reactor, they use heavy water is D2O. So D2O is moderator as well as coolant. Moderator slows down the speed of nutrients. Coolant will divert the energy which is being produced and uses natural uranium. India has limited uranium enrichment capacity. PHWR suits, but we have to go from PHWR to plutonium fast breeder reactor to thorium based reactors. Which of the following is the main advantage of PHWR technology for India? Can use natural uranium as Chepokumaris, that means fuel. MCQ 5, which of the following best explains base load power? Continuous and stable power supply to meet minimum demand. MCQ 16, which of the following is the key limitation of renewable energy compared to nuclear power? Intermittency and dependence on weather conditions. Which of the following is a major challenge in expanding nuclear power in India? High upfront capital cost. Cheapu tipu. Whenever you see these questions, you can pause me and then try to solve these questions and become a really good boy or really good girl. Cheapu Kumaris, Chipandis Pibharis. Cheapu tipu. Guys, grow up. I don't understand why you keep saying Cheapu Kumaris and all these stuff. What does that even mean? Jibba jabba guys, you people are. Okay. I love you. Na upiriyadi poina. So now see the third news related. Fast breeder nuclear reactor. We have just seen stage 1 pressurized heavy water reactor, but we want to go to the second stage, fast breeder plutonium reactor, which is using plutonium and all those stuff. So what I was saying, I forgot. So yeah, India's prototype fast breeder reactor prototype. So currently we are testing the stage 2. I have just told you stage 1, 2, 3. Stage 1 makes starter fuel plutonium and via using natural uranium, which will be done by pressurized heavy water reactor. And then you will use this plutonium to generate neutrons, plutonium, leftover uranium, natural uranium. You will use it to generate energy and neutrons. So that will be done in fast breeder reactor, FBR. And then these neutrons you will use to bombard it to thorium, you will produce uranium 233 and more energy. So that's how things will be done here. So you can see here we are doing the prototype of second stage, which will use depleted uranium, produce plutonium for future use, extract much more energy from uranium. Currently, because pressurized heavy water reactor is using natural uranium, and that has more than 99% of uranium 238, which is useless, so a lot of wastage happens. Not much energy we get, but when you will use plutonium and leftover uranium to produce energy, that will produce much more energy than the first stage. And here, there we were saying D2O was used as coolant and moderator. Here you're using liquid sodium in the stage 2. India currently depends on imported uranium. PFBR helps reduce this dependency. So you can see all these things, Chepu Kumaris. India's nuclear strategy, I've told you all these things, so you can have a look at it. PYQ 18, UPSC 2020. It's some days now you have to do so much multitasking, guys. But this is good, yeah. This is good. Work should increase. There should be so much work that your mind is like all. But again, why are some nuclear reactors kept under IAEA, others are not? Because some use imported uranium, others use domestic supply. B. Chipukumaris. MCQ 19, three-stage nuclear program. First uranium, then plutonium, then thorium. D. Which of the following statement about thorium is correct? Thorium can be converted to uranium 233. B. India has abundant thorium reserves, correct? Thorium is not currently used. Stage 3 is far away. We are still doing the prototype of stage 2. Stage 1 is what we are focusing on. Which of the following statement is correct regarding India's prototype fast breeder reactor uses plutonium-based fuel? Plutonium-based fuel. 47th, how will Gaganyaan astronauts return safely to Earth? Gaganyaan, where we want to send humans to low Earth orbit. Many people confuse it with Mangalyaan. In the previous part 3, we have talked about Mangalyaan and Maven. We have done a comparative analysis, right? Revise it. So here, they will travel very fast. Unlike Mangalyaan, where we are not sending humans, right? They're not coming back. Here, these people, they have to come back. So that's why we have to think a lot. Like, it's very similar to Artemis mission, and I cannot say there is more at stake in Artemis. Here also human lives are at stake here, are at stake. Hope you can understand in the Gaganyaan scenario. So how they will come back? They will use air resistance, atmosphere when they are coming back. If you can see, so there is atmosphere here. They will come back. Atmosphere. So atmosphere will also exert some amount of pressure on them, which is known as air resistance, air drag. That will also slow them down. And again, there will be so many things which will happen. You can read it, and then they will fall into Bay of Bengal. In Indian Navy, they can tell you that Gaganyaan crew will fall into Arabian Sea and all. No, Bay of Bengal. What is important here is comparative analysis of Gaganyaan and Mangalyaan. Also revise that Mangalyaan versus Maven thing which we have done in part 3. Send Indian astronauts to space in the low Earth orbit. You know, and whatever Artemis is, Gaganyaan is our mission, man. Earlier we were supposed to send it in 2022, 75 years after independence. That has been delayed, but yeah, it's fine. Low Earth orbit. Mangalyaan, Mars orbit. Gaganyaan developed human spice. Again, you can read all these things. So Mangalyaan, Mars, is different from Maven because it was just a test flight. We reached Mars in the first attempt, and earlier USA, USSR, European Space Agency, they have done that. They have gone there before us, but we are the first country which have, which has reached Mars in the first attempt. But we have seen Mangalyaan and Maven, they're very different from each other. So yeah, Mangalyaan launched by ISRO, Mars orbiter. Made India the second country. No, US, USSR, ESA, all of them have gone. So second is wrong. And made India the only country to be successful in making successful space orbit Mars in the first attempt. Yes. So first and third are correct. C, 1 and 3. Cheaper Kumaris, cheapendis, Bibharis. Which of the following best describes the primary objective of Gaganyaan? Send humans to low Earth orbit. Which of the following statement is correct regarding aero braking? They will use atmospheric drag, resistance of atmosphere to reduce speed. Should Mythos AI model raise cybersecurity alarm? So, Anthropic AI firm, they have released a model Mythos, which can tell you about zero-day attacks. Zero-day attacks means currently we don't even know. We talk about, like, when you work in software engineering and all, a software engineer, you will talk about issues, how many days you need to tackle it, to fix it, so because you know the issue beforehand. But let's say you don't even know a particular issue, that there is an issue in your thing, entity. So you have 0 days, you don't, because you don't know. So company has 0 days. So suddenly if you know about it, you have to fix it at the earliest, because this scenario you have never witnessed before. Because you have never witnessed it before, that's why it's a 0 day attack. You cannot tell how many days you will take to fix it. When hackers exploit this unknown, let's say before you go through these vulnerabilities, a hacker know about these vulnerabilities, he can kill you, he can kill your entity. So that's where this AI mythos comes into picture. So they can find and exploit software vulnerabilities. So if these hackers, they start using these AI methods, that will be so bad for us. And that's why these Anthropic, they're sharing it with some Microsoft and all, some entities, and that can also lead to cartelization. Only these people, they will know about their 0 day vulnerabilities, other may not know about it, so hacker can use it. Hope you can understand 0 day attacks. What is the problem? Unknown vulnerabilities, we don't know how many, like, this is the scenario, or this is the problem we are encountering for the first time, so we don't know how many days will take to address this particular issue. So 0 day attacks may become cheaper and more common when AI methods will create more such kind of 0 day attacks. So again, if it is with a defender, it's awesome. If an attacker has it, it can create more issues. Hope you can understand. Important thing here is to understand 0 day. What is the basic meaning of 0 day? Vulnerabilities. So imagine a lock manufacturer does not know a hidden weakness in their lock. A thief discovers it and starts breaking it. That's a 0 day exploit. And that's why if AI Mythos goes into the hand of these thieves and hackers, God save us. But right now they're just sharing it with some people, some companies with reference to, but then the other issue is cartelization. Only those companies will be able to work on their 0 day vulnerabilities. What about other companies? Why there is so much discrepancy? With reference to 0 day vulnerabilities, they're known to the software. No, they're not known. That's why we don't know how much time will take to solve it. I think it should be, towards infinity day vulnerabilities. Then they have no available patch at the time of discovery. Yes, it is correct. B. Asteroid YR4, it's a near Earth object which was supposed to, like, there was a chance. Many people are saying that it had around 4% probability that it will hit moon in 2032. And many people were believing that this asteroids, rocky bodies, mainly orbiting Mars and Jupiter. I'm saying mainly orbiting Mars and Jupiter, but there can be some near Earth asteroids and comets like this, like YR4. So earlier they were like, it can hit moon, 4% probability is a big number, man. And if it can hit moon, it can, there's also probability that it can hit Earth. Earlier data in 2025 had hinted at a possible Earth impact, but thankfully, oh my god, how many such asteroids are there, guys? 65-meter wide asteroid 2024 YR4 is no longer considered a threat to either Earth or Moon. Which of the following best describes asteroids? Small rocky bodies that orbit the Sun, mostly found between Mars and Jupiter. Near Earth objects include both asteroids and comets. Cheapu correct means really collect. Their orbit bring them close to Earth's orbits. Really collect. Now you have to check the ND. All NEOs, no, not all, some pose a threat of collision with Earth. If on all, then we would have been having an existential crisis. B. Cheapu kumois. So 50th last article, 23rd April 2026. Environment and Geography Marathon has been done, but we cannot leave this issue. Mahanadi PYQs have been asked. So, and again, many people sometimes ask me, guys, that exam is on 24th May. So up until which current affairs, which day current affairs we cover? Many people say that 1 month before, till 24th April. But my view is, like, because by that time maybe they have prepared the current affairs. See, and many people, they stop reading Hindu or watching Hindu analysis. That is not the, see, I will tell you, if you can, if time permit, watch Hindu analysis even till 1 day before your prelims. Why? Because it's not about they will go through the news gets repeated, let's say AI, Anthropic and all, news gets repeated. So there will be a revision which will be happening when you're watching these Hindu analysis. And if some news comes or some particular thing appear in UPSC CS, it's not about they covered 10 days before news. That news would have been recurring news. So when you read, and you, like, I've seen it with many people, they just leave Hindu analysis, they don't read newspaper, they don't watch Hindu analysis, and they feel like UPSC is not going to ask it. You are not reading or watching that because UPSC is going to ask it. You're watching it because there'll be some news which will be getting repeated, which will be in a way a revision of yours. So that's why don't leave it. So ideally you can cover till 5th May or 6th May, where, but again, you cover it because there will be some news which will be getting repeated, and when you read it again or watch it again, it remains in your memory. So don't make that mistake. Many people do it, that they don't stop everything. Don't do that. It will help you. It will help you even in static portion. So try to go, even if you're having prelims on 24th, watch the Hindu till, or read Hindu analysis or whatever, read Hindu PDFs till 23rd May. You will thank me later. Maximum people do this mistake and then they regret it later. Tribunal gives last opportunity to Odisha and Chhattisgarh. They share this Mahanadi River. Mahanadi River originates in Chhattisgarh. Mahanadi. And after Chhattisgarh state has been created, they're using a lot of water of Mahanadi for different purposes in upstream. So that's why downstream Odisha, they're getting less water and they are facing issues, and that's why they went to court. So court appointed a tribunal. Now you have a same government, like same BJP is ruling in both the regions. But even then they are not coming at an issue. Now tribunal is saying that if you don't arrive at a particular issue or particular judgment, whatever, like a mutual decision, we will decide for you. Tribunal will decide for them. Now here what is important is pay attention to the other rivers, guys. Where has my phone gone? Like Subarnarekha, Mahanadi, Godavari, Krishna, Pennar, their arrangement from north to south and all, they are very important. Which river is a tributary of what river? All these things are really important. So again, that's what we are discussing here. Both states are seeking more time. Tribunals are like, we will give you till May 2 and you resolve it, man. You both, like, you're ruled by BJP. Both states are ruled by BJP. So what is the problem here? And I've told you the issue. Originates in Chhattisgarh, flows through Odisha. Odisha is lying in the downstream region. If Chhattisgarh upstream, they start using more water and all, then Odisha will get less water. And that's why they went to court in 2018. So let's see what is the final solution. PYQ 29, UPSC 2020, 2002. Arrange them in north to south. Pause me whenever you see this question A. Subarnarekha, Mahanadi, Godavari, Krishna, Pennar, Kaveri and Vaigai. Which the following river is correctly matched with its flow pattern? B. Godavari, east flowing. So like, share and subscribe, guys. Spread the word. You are your own competition, not competing with anybody else. Keep that in mind. If I'm adding to your knowledge, you can donate at this number. That's it from me. Take care, be blessed. I will see you. And again, if you want these PDF, you can send me a message at the same number. So that's it from me. Take care, be blessed. Tata, bye bye.